Hello, hello, welcome everybody to some more StarCraft 2. Today we're having the finals, or the playoffs of course, semi-finals as well, going to be taking place, of the Pro Circuit number 3. We've had one hell of a run, one hell of a amount of players right here showcasing their absolute skill. I kind of have a picture prepped right here so we can, there we go, kind of take a look together over the overall brackets here that we going for ourselves. Where do I put this even? I guess over here is fine. Alright, so as you can see, right there, we have ourselves all the groups that did occur already. Group A, Innovation, Rogue, Bunny, and Nice. Kind of funny that Innovation and Rogue, both of those players, starting out in the same group. The two players from that group that managed to move onwards. Now, of course, two of the players that are participating in the playoffs. And we have Group B, of course, there as well, right next to it. Cure, SOS, Dream, and Zaun. Cure and SOS being able to take that group quite convincingly, it looked like. Cure did lose the map to Zaun overall, but SOS not losing a map to Dream. Cure taking a one against, taking one on the shin against SOS as well. But then afterwards, SOS being able to, after all, take Dream down with another 2-0 after Dream managed to beat Zaun in the loser bracket. Afterwards, Group C, of course, there we have Almani, Parting, Patience, and TY. TY really not having a great day right then and there. Going up against Patience, losing 0-2. Going up against Parting, losing 0-2 as well. Patience losing to Armani, first and foremost. And also, well, I guess he won against TY, right? But then afterwards, we had a very close decider match between Parting and Patience, where Parting ultimately still managed to eke it out. TY and yeah, Parting of course in the loser match right there. And Armani being the first person to move onwards from that group, so a little bit of an upset there, I would say, from Armani. But ultimately, nice to have had. Well, it was nice to have him in the next group stage. Anyway, Group D: Zest, Time, Solar, and Ragnarok. Solar and Time going head to head. Time there losing to Solar 2-0. Zest winning against Ragnarok 2-0 as well. Solar then afterwards going down to Zest 1-2. And Time managing to beat Ragnarok after all 2-1, and then taking the revenge on Solar there with an 0-2 as well. So another 0-2, but in the reverse order that time. So Time managing to squeeze on through to Group A right there in the second group stage. Second group stage also was quite a tight one. Innovation versus SOS. Innovation looked absolutely amazing in that overall series. Then Armani versus Time. Time, that was a very cool series as well. Time managed to just barely squeeze on by with a 1-2 victory. Innovation versus Time. Now that was one where suddenly all the roles felt like they were reversed. And, well, alright. So apparently some stuff is happening here with the Korean side of things. We'll just have to wait a little bit for that one. But anyway, it gives us time to go through these brackets a bit more. Yeah, Time taking down Innovation in the winners match and being the first person to advance from that group. So very cool to see him right there, just kind of making that upset happen, and makes me very much wonder how he's going to perform here against Rogue. Rogue, I mean, we'll get to him in a little bit, but anyway, Time, yeah, in this group looked absolutely impeccable, honestly. Like, the games were close, but I mean, he still took down Armani and Innovation in the TVT series right there. So we'll have to wait and see how that is going to go later on when we see Time again. SOS going down, winning against Armani there 2-0. So that was the run for Armani up until that point. Had a good one, honestly, I have to say, right, with how his group stage 1 went, but ultimately went down in flames right there. Innovation taking down SOS there in the Group A second stage in the deciders match 2-0. So, you know what, SOS just didn't quite seem to have what it took to stand up against Innovation, going down 4-0 in total right there. Afterwards, Group B, Rogue and Cure. Cure taking down Rogue 0-2. So really managing to you know what, look it look easy. Honestly, he made Rogue look like an absolute dog that just didn't know how to play this game at that point in time. Parting versus Zest as well. He is really stepping it up right now. I have to say, Zest, he's one of the players that for a while he was, it felt like he was underperforming. I want to say. It feels weird to say because he still was one of the players that took games of all the best players now and again, but he wasn't really taking series anymore, right? And we're kind of used to seeing Zest sometimes just absolutely dominate these best players, and he really wasn't doing that anymore. He was kind of struggling to take matches here and there within series, but never really was winning that many series anymore. But anyway, it feels like he's back, and he's packing one hell of a punch right now, taking down Parting 0-2, and then afterwards taking down Cure 0-2 as well. So we're gonna have to keep our eye out for Zest versus Innovation there in the second best of 5. Alright, apparently Inu is still having some difficulties. I'm going to have to keep an eye out on the overall chatting right there. Anyway, as I was saying, afterwards then, after the Zest matches, Zest just absolutely wrecking face Rogue and Parting, going 2-0 right there into favor of Rogue. So Parting, a little bit of an underperformance there that day, unfortunately. You have to wonder if he's just kind of getting mentally blocked now and again, trying to really perform well. You know, sometimes when you try too hard to perform, sometimes that can kind of clog up your mind and not make you think as clearly. I don't know if that was happening specifically, but it definitely didn't really feel like Parting was playing his old self in these series. But anyway, Rogue being able to take the victory there, 2-0 as well. It was a 2-0 day up until the last match of that Group B Stage 2, where we had Cure versus Rogue. Cure, I believe he took game number 1, I want to say. I'm not quite sure anymore. Let me see, actually. The maps. Yeah, he took game number 1 on Pillars of Gold. And then afterwards, Rogue he stepped it up like mad and managed to take it up a notch. You know, he just absolutely started tearing Cure apart, and you know what? That's all that mattered. Even though Cure won that day in overall map score, right? He took 3 maps off of Rogue. Rogue only took 2 maps off of him. Those 2 maps that Rogue took off of Cure, they were the really important ones, and he managed to move on through. But the ones that he did take, he looked absolutely stunning. Very, very powerful plays right there from Rogue. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of game he's going to be bringing here today against Time, as we have those two in the finals right now. Well, the semi-finals right now. We're going to have to wait and see. Let me make Inu the party leader again. Let's check and see whether or not he's doing all right. So, yeah, that's all the groups right there. Of course, those groups as well are available for you to buy all the replays of. That's quite a lot of games that were being played. So if that's what will float your boat, you know what, trying to either prep for your oncoming GSL matches, or maybe you just want to get a little bit better on the ladder, or maybe you just want to support the ITaX community. That's always a good thing as well. Yeah, then you know what, buying the replay pack, $10 I believe it is usually the cost, and that should get you sorted for the replay pack. You'll be sent every single group stage. You'll be sent to playoffs as well, and yeah, you'll have a boatload of really top-notch overall StarCraft 2 content right at your fingertips. So today, let's talk about today. Time and Rogue. I've been talking about it for well, between those groups matches now and again. I mean, Time is looking like he is regaining some of his former glory as well, right? It's been a while when he really had suddenly his rise to power, and he looked unstoppable at that moment in time. He looked absolutely impeccable. He looked like he was just destroying everybody left, right, and center, and then he kind of fell off all of a sudden. And people were a little bit afraid that maybe perhaps this is going to be a moment in time where, a moment for Time, I should say, where he may just decide to suddenly stop playing, and that is not the case. He's back at it again, and he is kicking some serious ass right now. It's going to be interesting to see him versus Rogue, because Rogue is also one of those players that overall, I know he doesn't usually lose in the playoffs or the finals in particular, but I'm not sure if he's going to be putting in the same amount of thought and the same amount of efforts into this one as he would, for example, for the GSL, right? Because that is just a lot more renown and a lot more overall prize money. So you can invest more time overall into those types of settings rather than this. So this is more like a street fight, you know, instead of like a big arena fight. This is still maybe like a back alley arena here and there, you know, on the internet somewhere where you have Time and Rogue still freaking GSL champions duking it out. I don't know why in this universe, you know, back alley street fights represent the world champion pretty much, you know, in a sense. I say world champion, but you guys know the Korean real champ. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of games he's going to be bringing here today. As we know, he can definitely bring up the level of play overall quite a bit, but also sometimes it's a little bit of a slump he can hit when he starts off with these types of things, right? Takes him a while to warm up. At least that's what we saw in the previous group stages from Rogue. So, you know, there's only a single best of 5. If he doesn't manage to hit his stride right away, that is going to be a problem. I mean, even in Group A, right? I didn't really hit Group A, but he was going up against Bunny. He lost 0-2 versus Bunny. Afterwards, he stepped it up again, right? He went 0-2 versus Nice, well, in a victory way, and then 2-0ing Bunny afterwards as well. I said 0-2 because that's just how it shows on Liquipedia, but yeah, so then, you know, after getting 0-2'd, he just started 2-0ing folks left, right, and center as well again. Really just dunking on some nerds. So great stuff right there overall, and I hope he's just, you know what, if he does kind of hit that slump right now, the startup slump for Rogue that we usually see, I hope he's already done it on the ladder, right? Maybe he's already done a couple of ladder games. I can actually maybe look at his profile. Actually, no, his profile apparently doesn't really do ladder, it looks like. It's just a custom game thing. He played one ladder game 1 year ago. He did win it, so congrats to him. But yeah, that's pretty much all he has done. Look at this account. It is just pure and unadulterated custom gaming. Looks like you've been streaming for a while. Tell your followers you are live right now. We haven't told our followers just yet. Alright, I guess we are. So a notification sent successfully. Thank you, Trovo. Thank you, Trovo. Overall, providing us with some useful Trovo bot stuff. Yeah, so Time versus Rogue. I feel like Time might be the person that's going to take the first initial games, and then afterwards the question is going to be whether or not Rogue is going to be able to step it up enough to suddenly take multiple games in a row. We'll have to wait and see. Time also needs a little bit of a bathroom break right now. This is the difficulties you guys, well, we have, of course, with overall doing things live and such, but hey, little bit of a mental break there. Anyway, we're looking into getting things started. Time is ready, Rogue is ready. Now all we got to do is do the countdown, and blast off will commence for this StarCraft 2 game right here. And yeah, so how are you guys all doing? Hope you guys are all strapped, ready to enjoy some StarCraft 2 here. You know what, we're pretty set, honestly. We have a TVC and a TVP afterwards, and then who the hell knows what we're going to get in the finals, but even the TVT, Time versus Innovation, that would really intrigue me to see, because the Cure versus Time matches, they were very tight as well, and well, we know Cure managed to beat Innovation after all in the GSL. I know it's a lot of people saying, you know what, but Innovation probably should have won that one anyway. Looks a little bit more overall steady in his play, a little bit more reliable. Couple of victories from Cure right there going into his favor. More so, it felt like, due to a little bit of a luck of the draw, maybe build order winning, getting those types of advantages. And well, You know what? Those advantages there are always advantages, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Guys, we are loading up. And any type of outcome here, I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised about Time and Rogue. Both of them very, very hard to predict. And we're just going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see. I hate to say it. I say it a lot, but that's just kind of the way it goes with StarCraft 2. It's a difficult one to predict, unless if you're like watching Rogue versus, I don't know, me play. Or any of these other players. It's going to be easy. It's going to become a lot easier to predict, but ultimately, that doesn't usually happen. So, anyway, let's introduce these players right here. In the bottom left side, we have the Kai Z Terran. He is the one and only blue Chinese man. Only actually, yeah. I mean, he started out, he beat a lot of Koreans on the way, but he's showing the dominance of China right now. He is Time. Can he make it all the way? Can he make it into those finals and then maybe take the entire thing? I don't know. He's got a tall hill to climb after all. There's this red Zerg right here that is quite accustomed to playing in the playoffs and quite accustomed to playing in those finals as well, of course. Probably, you know what, maybe predicting himself to win this one. He's sending a drone across the map right now. Maybe just checking for some proxy racks. Anyway, he's the red Zerg from Jin Air Green Wings. He is Rogue. Alright. And now we wait for the dust to settle and see what kind of builds these guys are going to be aiming for to start things off. Let's wait and see what their real plan is here. What they would like to get done, what they would like to get sorted. So we have pretty normal stuff right here, right? Cut, run of the mill. The cookie cutter kind of shapes. Very, very regular stuff right now. It's Rogue. We're gonna wait and see for that third base. Looks like he will want to get himself those two queens up first and foremost. And then might go for a drone to the third base eventually here. Hopefully. Usually you would do that, of course. The two-base attacks may try a little bit of roach pressure, right? That is something we see sometimes from Rogue, but it all depends on his decision right here. Lynx and the Reaper. Name a more iconic duo. I don't think there is one. It's a weird duo because it's a duo with one of the partners of the duo being 4 participants instead of just one. And then the queen comes in as the third wheel, kind of ruining the day of the micro battle that does occur. Like the positioning of the queen so far, making a good maneuver. Ooh, even being able to get on top of the Reaper right here with those links, just barely. Oh, wow, that was some really clean maneuvering there from Rogue. That's a good startup for him, of course. Really showcasing why he is one of these top-notch players that is taking so many tournaments. Overall, the high-tier tournaments. I mean, that looks very small, like a tiny thing, but there was a lot of effort put in there, right? Sending the queen further out to force the Reaper to either commit further in or, well, go past the queen again. Having another queen right here, being able to move up or down, depending on where the Reaper was going. And then also being able to get this around with the links right there. Moving in right as the Reaper jumps down. Very tiny, subtle stuff, but very important nonetheless to get the kill on that Reaper. When you're playing against somebody like Time, you have to try and get every little tiny advantage and every timing right to catch those pesky buggers, the Reaper boys. Right. Time going for more Hellions so far. We're seeing a relatively quick layer attack, actually. Already done, of course, here. Going for the Spire right now. It's become more common overall, I suppose, right? The quick Spire on 2 base. It does pretty well against a lot of stuff. It does okay against the Aliens pressure, the Hellbat pushes. It does okay against the battle cruisers, I suppose, as well. And yeah, just overall a solid build. I mean, any type of drops, pressures become a lot more difficult, of course, as well. And you kind of put yourself in the driver's seat when it comes to being aggressive in this early part of the game because of this. I guess Alien run-bys and such can still do quite a bit of damage in these situations, right? Can still squeeze themselves by. And kind of take the opportunity here, as there's not that many links, or, well, there's no roaches either, of course, here. There's only 5 queens, right? They're kind of spread out, but nice positioning here overall from Rogue, making it very doable for him to keep this all sorted, nice and clean, keep the base Hellion free. There we go, messing up on those tumors. And 8 Mutalisk right now being constructed. A Overseer attempting to get a little bit of a scout here. Let's see. Well, yeah. Goes down here. Did he see the 3rd base? I'm pretty sure he did. Oh, actually he didn't. Okay, well. I mean, other than that, what did he see? He saw... Well... What was this? Guess it was the... Oh, right, it was the other barracks. Alright. Well, in come the Mutalisk. Doesn't look like they'll be able to do too much if they try to take a head-on fight with the Marines, of course. But that's not where their power lies. It's mainly the mobility, of course, that it's going to be able to abuse right now. But so far, time being pretty much on top of the defense so far. There we go, Mutalisk here. 1 kill. That's it. That, you know, that's not a lot, is it? Just 1 kill. 8 more Mutalisk on the way, though. Rogue not yet shying away from this Mutalisk tech. The Flying Sausage is, of course, units that you can just mess up on and do pretty well with. Of course, you gotta be aware that it's also one that you can mess up with. So, one small misstep into a couple of Widow Mines, flying over a group of Marines, and everything can be over very, very quickly. Also, you don't have that much firepower in a straight-up fight. Now, he is cleaning up a lot of these SCVs right now with the counter-aggression, just continuously being poking around the edge of the base of time right here, and finding a good opportunity there to take the advantage. But at the same time, pushes like these can be rather difficult to deal with. He does have 10 banelings on the way, but spending this much money on the Mutalisk, of course, at the start, he doesn't really have the upgrades for his Zerglings or his Banelings. He doesn't have Baneling speed. He has those Mutalisk. This is where his real power lies, and, well, let's see. He should be able to shut this down relatively nicely. Okay, there we go. Quick clean up on that missile turret, getting more kills, and it looks like this is enough to force time to go on the retreat here. Full retreat, in fact, sending everything back, but gonna lose a whole lot of stuff right now before he's actually gonna make it here. It's only a single missile turret right there as well, and GG already called. Oi, 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 that's not a good sign here for time. Already losing game number 1. When I thought that was where his main, his biggest chance kind of lay, right? Where just he may have been able to run away with the game at the start before Rogue really started hitting his stride, but looks like Rogue already has had his warm-up for today, and brings his A game right from the bat, and we'll have to wait and see if this is going to continue. I suppose it will. I mean, as soon as you kind of see Rogue really making all the good moves, right? It becomes hard to imagine him suddenly dropping that kind of overall. Flawlessness is the wrong word, but just kind of clean execution of his builds and his micro. It's kind of like when he gets in the zone, you know. It's what it really feels like. I don't know if you guys ever saw the one of the animes, Kuruku no Basket, but like it's a basketball anime. I don't know why I'm starting about this, but there's like these guys, they play a lot of basketball, and then ultimately they unlock the zone, and then their eyes start glowing, and they play like 10 times better than they normally would without it. And that's kind of what I feel Rogue is capable of doing as well, in a way. Just forget about everything else, just solely focus on the game, and be so absorbed by the game that, you know what, he really feels like he is those units, right? He does feel kind of like a hive mind, in a way. Not saying that other players can't do this, but Rogue, it feels very prevalent, right? Whether he is or isn't in the zone. And so far, you know what? Game number 1 made it look like he kind of was. Made it look a little bit scary here, but we're going to have to wait and see if he's going to be able to do it again here. In the bottom left side, we have that red Terran, the red Zerg player, Jinna Greenwings. He is Rogue. The Terran is in the top right side, of course. He's in the blue colors as well. He is none other than Kaisi Gaming's Time. Alright. Checking to see what they have in store for us in game number 2, of course. I wouldn't be surprised if we just start up kind of like in a similar fashion. And seeing how well the Mutalisk builds works out there for Rogue, I would be surprised if he doesn't do this again here. Again, going for the 2-rack scout with that drone. That is something you don't see all that many Zergs do. But it does feel like one of the things that can just, like, overall, if you make it work, if you know, don't see this as too much of an investment, suddenly you just make the entire proxy racks obsolete. Or it's going to have to be put so far away from your regular scouting patterns that, you know, you're going to have to put it over here, right? Or over here. And all of a sudden, that is just... maybe over here, but that's just still such a long distance that it becomes so much easier for the Zerg to hold this kind of stuff. And that's it's really cool to see Rogue, you know, feeling comfortable enough in the rest of his play that he is willing to sacrifice a little bit of money at the early part of the game to ensure that he will not be blindsided. As long as he's not being blindsided, it kind of shows that he will feel like he should be able to take it. Now, he doesn't have to do this every single game, right? As long as he does it sometimes, he should be able to kind of get the overall, how would you call this? The people will get the idea that this is what he does, right? You have the chance that he will get just start scouting with a drone, and then it becomes such a less likely thing for you to be like, you know what, I should go for a proxy Rex, right? I mean, all I gotta do is make sure I don't get scouted by those overlords, and, well, that's suddenly an entire different thing, and oh my dear lord. Okay, Time is looking to be a little bit abusive here with the timing that I believe should be able to hit before those Mutalisks really come into play. Going for a Ghost Academy right now, and that is a very interesting overall battle that we're going to be seeing here. Ghost Academy with Hellbats usually going to be the case in this sense. We'll have to wait if he's going to get himself Cloak as well. Would be crazy if he goes for quick nukes. It's like one of the worst things you can do against a pro Zerg player, I would say. It's very unlikely that he's not going to notice the nuke going off when he's only on 2 mining bases. That he has to check for. But anyway, we're going to be seeing this this timing coming out here. And Time sending a Viking as well with this. So he's going to be attempting to clear the pathway of any overlords really hiding what he's up to right now. And this is a difficult one to guess, right? You don't see this attack all that often. You really gotta scout this one in particular to really know it's coming. Now, that being said, it's not like you just straight up lose if you don't know this is coming. It's still very hoardable, right? You just need a little bit of good micro with your Zerglings. Don't get them roasted by the Hellbats too quickly, or or the Hellions, depending on what's happening here. And Rogue actually starting to make an Overseer right now. The Overseer might be able to actually get into the base here before he gets picked off, and I do believe that is going to be the case. Okay, the 2 Ghosts are going to be able to run away here, so it needs to go down before it sees either the Ghost or the Ghost Academy. One more shot. Okay, well, that does happen. But another big intel, of course, is that he doesn't see anything being researched on that tech lab, so we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, already, look at that. Putting down 2 spine crawlers. He's onto him. He didn't see a third base either. He didn't see an opening here between the supply depots for a third base. So all of that combined. Actually, we don't have an armory here. So yeah, this is just going to be pure Hellions. Instead of getting himself more of the, well, the meat packers, the Hellbats, he went for a little bit of a different type of army composition here. In favor of getting a couple more other types of units, and he's doing pretty good actually. The Zerglings already picked off now. The Banelings right here, they are the next line of defense, of course. Oh my dear lord, the Banelings actually getting connections on all of the Ghosts right there. That is absolutely disturbing. That is not allowed to happen in this situation when you... They don't have speed. They don't have much of anything. And you have a medevac to fly into. This is... That's a little bit unredeemable, unfortunately. And now he is behind overall in... Well, I guess he did kill workers, right? He did kill 9 workers, but... it's still a tricky situation because now he's fighting against 7 Mutalisks. He's got 3 Marines and a Ghost, right? And the Ghost just died. The medevac just died. He's got 2 Marines. He doesn't have engineering base either, so he can't make missile turrets. This is one real rough situation, and yeah, GG is called. Time not quite making it work that time around. I hate saying time all the time, but all the time I'm just saying time and time again. It's crazy, but yeah, time taking another loss there. He's making him eat dirt right now, Rogue is. Jeez Louise. But, yeah, I mean, Rogue, let's wait and see if, you know what, maybe game number 3 is not gonna be his lucky number. I doubt it, though. I mean, now seeing Rogue in those 2 games, I mean, I'm kind of anticipating, or I'm kind of fearing a 3-0 right now between him and Time. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, the Chinese Terran player Time, he is very solid, right? He can definitely take games off of Rogue. I mean, game number one, I think he was the closest to getting something done. It's just the run by not quite being able to be dealt with, right? There wasn't a lot of Zerglings there, but he didn't have anything. He couldn't force a fight. He ran across the map. I think he got a cancel on the 4th base, but that was while he was losing a lot of works at home. So even getting the cancel on that 4th base, not really something that works out all that swell. Yeah. Yeah, alright. Countdown is occurring here. Game number 3 on the way. And if I was Time, I would be sweating right now. I would be quaking in my boots. I would be wondering, like, why do I have to play against the GSL winner of the previous season? Why am I the one that has to go up against Rogue? What's this about? Why is he also in this tournament? Oh god. Oh well. Anyway, that's what I would do if I was Time. But of course, luckily for him, that's not the case. He's an entirely different person, and he's actually good at the game. So let's wait and see if he can actually get something on the board here. He is the blue Terran from Kaizi Gaming. He is Time. Red Zerg top left side right there on the creep corner. He is Jinner Greenwings, Rogue. StarCraft 2, overall, I feel like, especially on the Korean scene, we've had certain people be very dominant, but we've always had them fall off at some point, right? We always see them kind of rising up to the occasion, and then suddenly kind of washing away again. Now, that's very interesting to me. I'm not quite sure if that has mostly to do as well with just like how the meta changes and how like how many patches are continuously thrown in and changes for the overall gameplay here for StarCraft 2. But it's definitely interesting, right? Definitely one of those wonders of the esports world in a way. Rogue, one of those players though that it felt like after him winning the what was it again, the ESL? Well, anyway, after he kind of won a lot of big tournaments in a row, it felt like he was getting kind of bored with the game. At least that's kind of the hearsay, the word on the street, as I should call it, right? Don't take this on face value, but you know what? I heard a guy say that a guy told him that, you know, another guy told him the aunt of Rogue heard his mother say that he got a little bit bored with the game. Now, that's a problem. That's definitely a problem. If you struggle to practice StarCraft 2, you're going to slowly kind of lose the refinements, right, that you have gathered up over time. And you need to reacquire those. And it definitely seems like Rogue had a little bit of a slump like that, in a sense. And now, it feels like he's coming back in again. Looks like he's coming back in again. Unknown 97 making an account, I think. Very cool to see. Reaper here on the prowl, looking to see what kind of intel he can gather from this Zerg on this side of the map. Still no third base. Becomes a little bit scary at this moment in time, of course. You would expect another base at this moment. Instead, we're seeing two more queens right now, and the Leia. I guess that is kind of what we have been seeing from Rogue overall. But this gives the information for time that, of course, most likely it is going to be that quicker Leia tech. Now, I'm making the assumption that it's very likely to be the Mutalisk play again here. But knowing Rogue, I mean, there's still no Roach Warren, so this is also a little bit of an indicator that it will be the Mutalisk play. But and those two gases now being taken. Full time, he still has to take into consideration that this could be some sort of a Nidus Worm or any type of other attack like that. But I think the safe bet right here, after two of those previous, well, after the two previous games in particular, right? You gotta make the assumption that this will be a Spire play. And if you guys are looking into how to perform your two-base Spire into the third base kind of Zerg play, I think these replays right here, I mean, we just had 3 maps and 3 of them Rogue doing the same build here. Going for the Spire play. So yeah, this would be a good overall replay series to kind of observe and try to learn from. Oh, obviously they're getting a little bit caught out a little bit right there. Felt like he could have maybe gone away in time, but instead does kind of fall short. There are those two medefects right now, filled up to the brim with Marines. Once again, Time gonna be attempting to just hit Rogue in between when he is about to get those Mutalisk. And even if he doesn't get too much of a killing right here, it's still gonna be okay, because this is gonna force out banelings, right, off of Rogue. Now, Rogue trying to go with the minimal amount of banelings as possible. Right, only 4 banelings right now. That's a very, very small amount for the amount of Marines he's facing right here. It looks like it will be just barely enough, and that is allowing him now to still make get 7 Mutalisk on that production boards right now. That is very impressive. Honestly, I would have anticipated him making a mistake, something like just getting too many Banelings. And honestly, looking at 4 Banelings, I thought you can't hold this with 4 Banelings, right? That's not going to be doable. But in the end, here proving me wrong, showing that, you know what, he made the exact right amount of Banelings to just get on top of those units, and made it impossible for the attack to just go on top of the drones at least. Now, with some more reinforcements, we do have a little bit of a second wind hitting now for time. But it is still rather precarious, a precarious situation, right? Baneling speed not quite done yet. I think this is the best way to kind of try and deal with this, though. As long as you keep those Mutalisk busy, preoccupied on this side of the map, you don't have to worry about them just cleaning up all of your SCVs. Also, of course, another command center right now being built on location, I believe, of that 3rd base. If I'm not mistaken, we'll have a look-see later on, but look at the carnage right now occurring here. Time being able to shoot back all the Banelings right now. The Baneling speed still not quite ready yet. These siege tanks fully capitalizing on the fact that Baneling speed is so delayed with this type of build. And, oh, Time just taking a little bit too much force damage, and his medevacts aren't with the Marines right now. I don't know what happened there, but that's a big blunder, not having those medevacts with the Marines. And I mean, that might seem like a tiny thing, but you're going to get so much more value from those Marines, especially when there's low Mutalisk numbers. You can out-heal so much of that damage and keep them alive for so much longer. That fight would have, I feel like, gone the other way if those medevacts were together with the Marines right there. And that's going to be a big bummer here for Time. He's now going to have to retreat instead of just going to keep the pressure on the other side of the map. And that is the big part, of course, for Rogue here. It is a 3-base versus 3-base. The worker count is looking fine, but now we have the Blue Terrans suddenly on this side of the map, kind of strapped to the 3 bases that he has. It's going to be very difficult to keep expanding here. And it's going to be very difficult for him to commit to another attack here, because these Mutalisk, they are going to be relentless. They are not going to give an inch of room to the Blue Terran. Okay, well, this is a little bit awkward. Trying to overcommit on that siege tank a little bit. So losing a couple of the Mutalisk. But ultimately, as I mentioned, this is a rough position. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to be impossible for him to get across the map again here. We're seeing the Zerglings and the Banelings being a little bit passive, so that's always a good sign for Time. Might have the opportunity now because of this to start pushing, but man, look at how active these Mutalisks are being. Just a second away from that base, and immediately starts hitting the 3rd. Doesn't want to commit though because of the missile turret there. It looks like wasn't feeling all that comfortable with the amount of Mutalisk he had. Did lose a couple of them, of course, like we mentioned before. Alright, so going back on the defensive, Time did manage to reset up this position right here. And sieging a siege tank, trying to get a little bit closer. Gets me a little bit worried as well, seeing all 3 siege tanks on siege at the same time. But it looks like he will still be able to get this kind of sorted. Just a couple of Banelings remaining. Needs to target him down. 1 more remaining, okay. Oh, yeah, just doesn't have enough firepower now, unfortunately. And once again, has to pack up his bags and leave this place right now. Oh, this Liberator did manage to get 5 drone kills in total, though. It's nice to see, but ultimately, I mean, almost all of the medevacts there on the retreat getting targeted down. Only 5 remaining right now, so those are going to have to be recreated. A Thor on the production tab. I love the Thor. That's a good call right now. Drilling claws as well. This is a crucial upgrade overall, I would say, for the Terran player to get around this time. Doesn't have the second factory with the reactor just quite yet, but we will be seeing more and more Widowmines making their appearance in this match right now. The creep spread of Rogue Hat is very impressive as well here. Oh, take care not to lose more medevacts. Let's see. 5 medevacs so far have been taken out, and even though Rogue is not trading super favorably, it looks like it just doesn't matter in a way. You know what? I'm kind of digging Time's place right now in this one. Right? He's getting a great army composition. He's ahead on upgrades, of course, because of the Mutalisk. And oh my dear lord, that's a good catch as well. 3 Mutalisks, just like that. Yeah, ahead in upgrades overall. Just 1 armor versus 2 attack and 1 armor there for the Terran player. Very, very stellar. You see this? +3 and +1. And at the same time here on the production tab. You don't see that all too often. The work account for Time, pretty much on par right now with that of Rogue. He may just lose some of them here, though. But then again, we have a pretty reasonable force of Time here. Attempting to do a little bit of multi-pronged harassment. And this is the moment in this game where this might start going into the favor of the Terran more and more so. As long as he is capable of applying pressure where he needs to. Doesn't get overwhelmed by the Mutalisk here. And oh my god, what a catch right there. Again, so many of the Mutalisk go down up in flames. The Zerglings right here. Oh, that could be reasonable with a mine hits. Picks up and tries to get out of there. But the Mutalisk, of course, still on the bottom side of the map. Getting good trades right now. Immediately, we see the entirety of the blue Terran force, though, coming in on the bottom side here as well. Trying to take the opportunity with all the Mutalisk and the Zerglings being on the top side to keep the fight on this side of the map right now. Cleaning up some more Zerglings right now and stimming in forwards. Oh, the Banelings. Yeah, okay connection so far. Nice unburrow on those Wither Mines. That's very important, but definitely Time taking a couple of Baneling hits right there, which maybe weren't completely necessary. Felt like we wouldn't have seen that from some other Terran players overall, but it does seem to still be enough right now. It has a Liberator on this base as well, so taking down a lot of workers at this moment. 15 overall and killing of a base. Time once again equalizing the overall base count. And you know what? It looks like Time is the one that finally did manage to find his stride, find his opportunity here in this series, and is actually doing quite a number on Rogue at the moment. Oh, the missile turrets aren't getting repaired, though. That is a big deal. Time prioritizing on getting Marines and a Thor right there, but losing 11 workers himself. That's a rough one. This force, though, of course, on the top side, still rather potent. We need to see it being controlled appropriately. Oh, a couple of Baneling hits once again, getting pretty reasonable connections right there. The Mutalisk have arrived as well. The Thor needs to start shooting on those bad boys. Let's see if the Wither Mines... I don't think there's any Wither Mines remaining, actually. So yeah, this outpost of Terran did get annihilated, but immediately more of those bio units show up, and there's only a single Baneling right now available. If he manages to snipe that one, yes, he does. Come on, get on top of those Banelings. They are about to be ready. Okay, he's starting to pre-split. I don't blame him. This is feeling rather scrappy right now. That's a lot of Marauders, though. Banelings don't do that well against them. Banelings not quite sure if they are supposed to fight or not, and they are gonna go down. GG is called. Time takes game number 3. Holy moly. Time showing us how it is done, and showing us how you are supposed to deal with this, I suppose. Was a clutch one, definitely, for sure, but man. Alright, we're gonna have to wait and see if there's gonna be more stuff like that from Time in this series. I'm very, very happy, though, that Time at least took one of those games and made it look like that, because this is the stuff that we well, at least that I'm expecting from Time, right? And every single moment when we don't get to see this as he's playing, it just feels like a waste overall. Boy, Fantasy. Boy Fantasy. Always, what's up, my man? Mass Mutalisk, eh? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Whenever I go Mass Mutalisk, I die to just, like, 2 Thors and a Widowmine. That's my problem. That's my problem. But then again, all the pros kind of make it seem like it is so easy to do, you know? Just don't fly into things. Don't make me mod sushi. It's too late. It's too late. Alright. Both of them saying they want to go. And we're going to see what Pillars of Gold has in store for us. Game number 4. I love seeing this Chinese Terran player, man. He is so cool to see. Honestly, like, he is just overall, you don't expect that many grades anymore from China in a sense, right? There's a lot of them, they kind of come up on the rise and then suddenly they fall off and they kind of just disappear, right? And Time, I mean, he is, I'd say, the player really that is taking the shine to StarCraft 2 from China, and it's been proven that he is capable of taking out the grades and managed to stick around for a long enough time to show this over and over again. Alright, here we go, guys. Game number 4, Pillars of Gold. Pillars of Gold. Gold! There's gold in them pillars. Gold! Oh, are we starting? I thought we were already in the... Ah, well, I'm sure it's gonna be... There we go. Oh, and I crashed. That is unfortunate. Ay, ay, ay. Well, that sucks. That hasn't happened in a long time. I don't know what it is. Sometimes StarCraft 2, right when the game starts, it's like, nope. No StarCraft today. No, I'm not feeling it. I'm sorry, sir. We'd rather just be the desktop right now. We'd rather just, you know, be a non-StarCraft 2 stream. Well, that is annoying. I may have to improvise here a little bit, depending on whether or not they are going to restart this. I'm not quite sure. You gotta go have some dinner, alright, unknown. See you later, my man. Thanks for dropping by. Overall, that's unfortunate. Let me see where if I can find myself the thingamajig here. Let me go on Team Liquid. And into the TV. Looks like they're still loading. It's awkward. That is awkward, isn't it? Let me see if I can... Where is this going to take us? Hold up. Just take a quick look. Okay, there's that screen. Okay. Just in case. Just in case. There we go. So this is what's happening right now in the Korean side of things. I think this might be because I did disconnect. I like their little graphic there in the bottom right. That's pretty cool. Like with the faces. That's pretty nice. That's pretty dope. They're still struggling. Trying to figure out what's happening here. So why is it that it's taking so long? Rogue left the party. Oh boy. I don't know what happens. I think it was me just getting a little bit too angsty on the thingamajig. Let me get my Trovo thing here as well. There we go. Hey, alright, remake. Alright. I guess that's a good thing, right? I guess that's a good thing for me, at least. Alright, let's put this all over here again. Get that all sorted out. There we go. Let's go. Can't DM him yet, guys. Put my little drink away. Alright, fingers crossed that we're going to be getting ourselves into the next game again. Rogue did leave the party as well. It looks like he had a crash as well. That's kind of a weird one, right? Two people getting the same crash at the same time. Coincidence? Confidence? It didn't work. I tried, but coincident. No, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. Trying to blame Corona for everything right now still. Remember when I was just memeing about it? When I said like, oh, it's gotta take the world by storm. Well, it did actually, didn't it? The, oh man. Oh, it sucks so much. It's still in beta. They're adding new functions and stuff every week. I mean, yeah, Trovo, pretty cool, guys. They are adding a lot of stuff. A pretty cool platform overall, supporting StarCraft 2. Of course, by supporting ITaX, and that's very much appreciated. So, good stuff overall. Good stuff overall. Okay. Okay. Of course, that is, you know what, an opportunity for me maybe to talk about the Matcherino overall. I believe the codes have been used up, but if you still want to help us out for free, that is still a possibility, of course. All you got to do is, you know what, subscribe to some YouTube, subscribe to some, or just drop some follows, some people that support StarCraft 2 overall. Okay. Okay, I gotta restart SE2. Yeah, so hit us up on that Matcherino. The link is right below this this little box right here where I'm talking from. My window of communication through the internet zone. And yeah, overall you can do some couple of quests. All you gotta do is like hit up some people right there on the Twitters, as I said, maybe a retweet, maybe a subscription to a YouTube channel. Stuff like this, gonna add a little bit of extra money to the prize pool. Every little bit helps after all. And, well, it's going to support StarCraft 2 overall, because more people are going to be inclined to think, you know what, if I invest money in getting myself sponsored in StarCraft 2 stuff, I get a lot of return of it, right? I get a lot of in return, and that's kind of what we're aiming for here. So the more kind of representation we get from StarCraft 2, the better on Matcherino, and the more in overall intermingling of people clicking on buttons, the better it's going to be for us. Alright, let's hope this works now. Alright. Party, alright. Three, two, one, and let's go. Game number 4. I hope Time hasn't lost the zone right there. Yeah, he's still chilling. He's still vibing. He's on his last life after all in his tournaments. I hate to be the person that kind of took him out of the mindset of like, all right, focus, focus, focus. Get another game going. Come on. It takes you out. It takes you out of it. But I suppose Rogue also disconnected. It's just, yeah, well, it's one more reset. Okay, okay. I hope they'll forgive me, ultimately, in StarCraft 2 heaven, if there is such a thing. There must be, right? There must be. Time and Rogue. Game number 4. Here we are. We have arrived. We have come to, again, a potential final game right here. If this man doesn't step it up one more time. Needs to get himself that home run swing on the bat right now with the Terran race pieces. He's in the red color. He's Kaisi Gaming's. He is Time. The one and only non-Korean in this league right now. Actually, was he that from the start? Let me take a quick look-see right over here. No, we had Nice as well, of course, from the Taiwanese part of town. Alright, anyway, his opponents right here, GSL champion. Twice, in fact. He's the blue Zerg player. He is Jinner Greenwings. He is a rogue. I love saying rogue. If you would say this rogue in Dutch, here we go. Rogue. Rogue. That's how you would say it, I think. I'm pretty sure. Time in Dutch would be Timmy. Could be as well. One of those. I don't know why there's so many different ways to pronounce things. I guess there's also for English overall, right? It's a weird one because you would say that if there's multiple ways to pronounce one certain thing, then ultimately wouldn't we just make a new symbol for that thing that we're pronouncing differently? But no, it's not the case. Not the case at all. That's not our style. That's not our jam. Wow, it almost looks like Time is going to check for proxy barracks here for Rogue. With the way he was moving around there. He's like, well, if he's not going to check with drones this time around, I'm going to check with an SCV. See if there are any proxy barracks of mine lurking about. Not the case this time. Now, one thing I would like to see at some point on this map is like barracks being built over here, or like even a factory, and then just dropping it right here in the main. I think that could be really cool. I think that would be really cool. Oh, I love that kind of stuff. Shenanigans. I'm pretty sure people have done it already, but it's a scary place as well because overlords can just continuously fly over there, right? I suppose that's a good reason not to do it. It's probably the reason why I haven't seen it myself yet. Quick triple command center here from Time. Okay. And a quick triple hatch from Rogue as well. Time did manage to scout this, so I think this was a response into the, well, playing into the triple hatchery here. Should put him in a pretty good position overall. I think the triple command center a little bit dicey to do against a quick layer attack. But in this situation, seems to be a pretty fine choice. And I fully support the red Chinaman right here doing that play. Gotta love to see it. Gotta love to see it. Second barracks as well. Very nice, very nice. No starport just quite yet, but of course you want to ramp up the production of overall units a little bit just to well, kind of make up for the fact that you do have that command center quite early on. Alright. Now, what is happening here? 4 of those Hellions moving on through. Gonna go on an excursion with the Reaper, it looks like. Or maybe not. Maybe just looking for Zerglings that are aiming for a run by here. The Overlord's not going to be able to scout the the third command center, but he does see the timing of that starport, which is a little bit. It's gonna have to make him scratch his head here, right? Seeing the starport being this delayed, there has to be some reason why it is so delayed. I guess he does see the double Rex as well. Could be that there's a lot of Marines on the way all of a sudden, and it could be that there's another command center somewhere else, right? Or maybe, well, proxy starports, maybe it could have been a thing as well, right, with the Hellions, but it would have been so late if that were already the thing, and he's got vision everywhere, right? So that's not really the case either. It looks like he's feeling pretty comfortable, Rogue, though it is. He's making the assumption that he can just drone up here correctly. without much of a hassle, and that's exactly what he's going for. That's the right call overall to make in this type of situation. Taking another base as well, making all the right moves here, it would seem. As time is starting to scramble up a little bit of a force here with those mariners, with the siege tanks as well. As soon as he starts producing them, I suppose. Not quite having the gas for it just yet. Gonna go for the double medevac first and foremost. This could start doing a little bit of damage right now. But we do have Rogue starting up the production of more Zerglings here. So I think he should be okay. It's going to be a little bit dicey. He's going to have to buy himself a little bit of time here, just moving back and forth. But overall, I think he should be able to... He might not be able to save his base, but he's not going to die or something, you know. He didn't cancel the base, so he will attempt to save it here. Very brave choice. Okay, time. Is he going to try to target this down here? Or still take the fight? It looks like, okay, he will try to take the fight right now. It's a scary one, attempting to get as far removed from that creep as possible, trying to just get away from the queen, extra DPS, and having to lift up afterwards. That hatchery is very low, though. Wouldn't be surprised to see another stim come in pretty soon. It's going to be a hatchery that's going to have to be babysat by Rogue here for quite a while. That took everything Rogue had, but to be fair, he's still on 71 drones right now. So, I mean, maybe it did take everything he could bring to the table at that moment in time, but ultimately, very well worth it having the incredible amount of drones that he has acquired right now. Time going for another base himself, as we have the Mutalisk Spire again. On that production tab, showcasing its ugly mug. This round little figure on top. Oh, the run by the Marines not quite in the right position here. Not going to be able to make the block happen, and those SCVs are going to have to be pulled away. Everything from time once again having to march back all the way across from the map here. And, well, very reminiscent of game number 1. Seeing a Ling run by doing this amount of damage. Very, very disheartening overall. So I'm feeling like he probably has to have everything across the map here to have a chance against Rogues, his overall macro. Maybe he's right, but ultimately that does leave him open on the backside of things. Now switching it up a little bit here, going for the medevac aggression with those Marines inside instead. Problem, of course, though, being there's a good amount of creep spread. There's a good amount of spreading of Zerglings, Overlords, all of that entire shebang that you would require to keep tabs on everything that's happening here. And look at this, even going to be able to get great connections there. Those medevacs also have to go full retreat, and you know what, if you're playing Terran right now, you're gonna feel hopeless. You are gonna feel absolutely hopeless. It's like, alright, well, I tried one thing, I lost a ton of SCVs, I tried another thing, it just died. Well, what do I even do right now? I go for the full committal, I get a bunch of links just killing everything, and my army still dies across the map. I try to spread out, try to do multi-pronged harassment. That just gets obliterated because he's got vision absolutely everywhere. It's becoming a problem. It's definitely becoming a problem. And it's a problem that is overall kind of based because of how the first initial part of the game went, right? Rogue just being able to drone away like an absolute madman, and now having just more than enough stuff to deal with pretty much everything here. Going up to the ITaX as well. We'll be able to set up all ready for that extreme late game, even though, you know what, we might not even be able to get there with how this game is kind of rolling for time so far. Now, let's discuss a little bit of how time might still be able to win this one. Maybe he's going to be able to get himself to 200 supply, get moving across the map here, and then get something going in that sense, right? Get a really good fight, and then before any type of Ultralisk, Brute Lords, all that type of stuff arrives, maybe hit a timing here. And kick the momentum underneath Rogue's overall game right now. Kick the chair out from under him, as they would say. Marine is here, catching a good group of those banelings. That's always nice, of course. Being able to find them out. Some nice connections there on the Mutalisk. Always a good thing to see some of those go down. Has to replenish those, so a bit less money overall for the later parts of the Ultralisk switch that is coming up here, it looks like. Mutalisk plus 2 attack, Adrenal Glands. A lot of stuff going into favor for Rogue right now. Of course, going for the triple hatchery a little bit earlier on allows him to kind of stay on par with the upgrades overall in this game. And he is making it look absolutely ridiculous right now. A couple of Baneling landmines even going to be placed here and there, it looks like. We'll have to keep tabs on what is happening here. Was that Overlord trying to lure those Marines into the Banelings? I'm not even sure anymore. Zerglings hitting the ground as well. Going to be looking for SAVs or command centers, attempting to make a new home base there for the Terrans. Another burrow there for a Zergling. Maybe just a spotterling. It's always a cool idea to just have those types of links sitting somewhere in these crucial parts where Terran will be moving on by very often. Alright. 200 versus 200 supply. We have arrived in this moment in time now, but ultimately it is still rather a dicey situation with the army of Rogue being so mobile as it is. Going to be able to just rush across the map, and as long as it has a fight on this side, he will be able to replenish most of those forces with Ultralisk before time really gets anything done across the map here, before he gets across the entire plains of Golden Pillars. Now time is trying to spread out a little bit here, right? Leave a post of more Marines Marauders to try and deal with the bases that are just popping up absolutely everywhere here for Rogue. But it's starting to seem futile here. The overall attempts of time to push across the map, every single moment he does so, it's just like continuously utter devastation occurring here. Those Banelings, oh, they didn't kind of forgetting about them there for a while. Me as well, actually. I thought maybe we'll get to the tail end, but ultimately they did not give a big kablow, a big shebang. And again, here we have time moving across immediate repercussions, immediate vengeance of the Zerglings here, trying to wiggle their way into these places. And even having a small portion of units right now across the map, it seems futile against those Ultralisk. Yeah, Rogue is just absolutely running away with this one. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Taking the top left side as well. Taking time's bases right here. That's the ultimate insult in StarCraft 2. Honestly, the one way I can see this still maybe working out if he just manages to ramp up his multitasking to 11 and start hitting so many places at the same time that it becomes very, very difficult for Rogue to try and deal with everything. But ultimately, it's just a scary sight to behold as Rogue moves on forwards here with the Zerglings, with the Ultralisk right on top of everything right now. Looking for the kill, and you know what, not quite being able to finish time off in this moment, but he's going to be able to roam back to his side of the map here and well, slowly but surely come back around again here and most likely finish off time eventually. Just looking at his bank, still 5k minerals, not that much gas, so this is kind of keeping him stuck on these moments right now. The army supply of time is still rather scary. This is, I think, the last moments where we may see time perhaps getting something done. And this is actually, he is starting to get damage on those drones right there. But this base right here, this is a crucial one. Oh, the Banelings are coming in. The Widow Mine's not burrowed. And pretty much, yeah, none of those Widow Mines go off there. This attack as well gets just absolutely annihilated. The Corrupt is there, making sure that that is the case. The Queens still being microed as well. There's some Widow Mines here and there, but ultimately, what are you going to do as time when there's this knocking on your front door? Zerglings and, what is that, like 6 Ultralisk, a ton of Corruptors as well. The overall SimCity here looks like it will favor time quite a bit, but even with that in mind, it's a rough one to look at if you are a time fan. Rogue, though, on the other hand, this is going to be a marvelous moment in time for him. Versus time for him as well. I think we're reaching that point of the GG fairly soon here, guys, but I mean, time just trying so hard. He does not want to lose this one. He had such a great game number 3, but ultimately game number 4 just is not going his way. In every turn he made, it looks like Rogue knew exactly what to do against it and full on countered it over and over again. Chinese Terran right here with a 1 HP Thor. That is kind of what it feels like. This is what this game is right now. It's a 1 HP Thor just barely hanging in there. And the perfect way to describe this game right now. 190 supply versus 19. Well, 119 supply, but it's a rough one. The base on the top left did get killed off, so you know what? There's a little bit of an opportunity there, I suppose, if he does manage to keep cleaning up bases here and there. But Rogue still on 80 for workers. Even with losing 8 more right now, it's a rough one. He's slowly just being whittled down to a crisp. Losing more and more stuff and losing more and more of a chance. Eesh. Well, guys. It's one of those. It's one of those, guys. Alright, here we go. More Banelings, more Ultralisk. There's so much micro happening here for time, but ultimately, I mean, there's just no way anymore. GG. GG is gold. Rogue being the first person to qualify for the finals here, setting himself up for a lovely, best of 7 that we are about to be happening after the next best of 5, of course. And this best of 5, I'm very much looking forward to this one as well. Innovation versus Zest. Now, usually, I think like 1 month ago or something, I would say, alright, Innovation should have this one. No problem. No problem. Now, I think Zest might be the favorite, honestly. I think Zest may be able to just take the series and maybe even in a demanding fashion. Dominating fashion, demanding fashion. He might demand a lot of blood from Innovation. That's what I'm saying here. Innovation, I'm not saying that he, is still an incredible player, right? Still taking, he still took down SOS, for example. Let's see, he still took down Nice. But they're just not Zest, are they? They are not Zest. Who is just absolutely tearing people apart right now. And making it look scarily easy. Honestly. It's rather ominous. The amount of just pure pawnage that's coming out of Zest right now. Is that still a word people say, pawnage? I don't know. I'm just lacking words in my vocabulary to really clarify the amount of destruction that Zest is laying waste to a lot of people right now. And yeah, I think Innovation is one of those still overall people that will be able to perhaps stand up against Zest and be like, you know what? No, you're not going to be able to just dominate this matchup. You're not going to be able to just destroy everybody. I'm still here. I'm Innovation. I know how to win games too. But I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I think it's going to be a great match, no matter what. No matter what. But ultimately, I think Zest might take it 3-1 or 3-2. 3-1. I see NG Nino as well, making that one as well. Yeah, I think you might be right. I think you might be right. Innovation versus Rogue, though, that seems like a really good one too. Zest versus Rogue, that could be very cool as well. I know people, they don't like the ZVP matchup that much, but I feel like we are entering a new situation where suddenly Protoss are doing a whole lot of different stuff, and we in particularly saw this from Zest in Group B, Stage 2. Wait, was that Stage 2? No, wait, it was somewhere else. It was a different... Where did I see Zest play the... I think it was a Super Series, actually. Yeah, I'm mistaken. It was a Super Series. Let me see if I can see. It was number 17, I believe. 17 or 18. It was 18. 18. Okay, it was 18. Let me see. He 4-0'd Ragnarok. Now, I know Ragnarok's no rogue. That's fair. But he brought out a lot of different stuff. He brought out the Stargates. He brought out Dark Templar. He brought out the overall... What was it called? Adept Glaive attack only once. Only a single time. And the rest of the time he was mixing it up, doing different things. And making those things look absolutely ridiculously strong as well. So, yeah. I would love to see a Zest versus Rogue finals. But then again, Innovation versus Rogue finals. My dear lord. Who could say no to that as well? Zest versus Innovation, though, of course, going to be the first here in the semi-finals, so best of 5. And yeah, like I said, I think Zest might be able to take this one. The 3 Stargate Oracles, exactly. 3 triple Stargate Oracles. What was that about? That came as a surprise, and that just shut everything down Ragnarok was trying to do in that game. Made it look silly. It's like, alright, yeah, Ragnarok should maybe have this, and then suddenly like 17 oracles just show up and you're like, where did those come from? What happens here? I'm sorry? What? But yeah, that was nuts. That was nuts. Anyway, guys, let me quickly do a quick little intermission here. And we'll be right back with the best of 5 between Zest and Innovation. One moment, please. And, yeah, see you in a little bit. Let's see, which one should we do? Which one should we do? Buy the products? Shout out. Let's do this one.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled event to bring you our newest sponsor, Strive. Strive beef biltong contains no added sugars, nitrates, or artificial preservatives. It's like jerky without the junk. Their beef snacks are all natural, high protein, and keto friendly. They offer unique flavors like spicy peri-peri, zesty garlic, and hatch green chili to satisfy your taste buds. Check out our event page for more information or go to strive.com to learn more about their products. Offered in slabs, slices, and sticks for your snacking needs. Now back to the games.
Hello and welcome to Strive.com, where I'm about to show you how you can get started on your Strive biltong order. To begin, press the Buy Now selection to explore all the different varieties of biltong snacks, ranging from standard packs to biltong sticks, as well as mini sticks. Here I'm going to select the original sliced biltong and add it to my cart. When I'm done shopping, I just press the checkout button to begin the checkout process. I then enter my shipping information here, select my shipping option, and enter my payment method. If I happen to have a discount code, I enter it here and click apply. Once I am done, I click on the Pay Now button, and after that, I'm all set. I hope this video helped you in starting your next Strive purchase and fulfilling your snacking needs. Now, let's head back to the action.
Alright. With that out of the way, we have ourselves a map order. Everdream first, a map choice. Death Aura second. Ice and Chrome will follow that one up. Pillars of Gold and Eternal Empire as the final pick right there. So no Golden Wall today, unfortunately. Looks like that did get vetoed. Let's take a look. Everdream, this is Zest is map pick. Death Aura going to be Innovation's map pick. And yeah, overall, let's talk about the TVP matchup. It used to be incredibly dominated by Innovation, right? He had like a crazy 80% win rate or something like that against Protoss overall. And a lot of it was because of his clean early game macro, and then being able to come across with a very well executed timing attack, right? It's just overall control of the timing attack, really hitting hard with those types of things. And being able to truly just absolutely obliterate the small amount of forces that the Protoss would have at that moment in time. That kind of changed. We're not seeing the 2-base timing attacks anymore that often, right? With the +1 attack and the stim and combat shields, or concussive shell maybe, perhaps. But it's not really something that you see all that often anymore. A couple of siege tanks with the Marines and maybe some SCVs as well to be pulled. Mostly because of that shield battery overcharge, of course. But it also means that it's an interesting time overall for players such as Innovation, right? He's going to have to try and figure something else out, as the overall, his main strategy, his go-for strategy in this matchup, kind of doesn't work all that well anymore. And you know what, I'm not saying that he should never do it again. I think it's still a very valuable thing if you manage to do it sometimes. It might still hit at a unexpected moment in time, and suddenly, you know what, you're just hitting another home run with a build like that. But ultimately, you can't just bank most of your buck on the 2-base timing attacks anymore. Just anticipate doing a lot of damage or getting a lot of kills in that sense. And Zest, on the other hand, I mean, usually we see him open up with the Blink Stalkers. But as I mentioned before, he seems to be improvising. Well, not improvising. He seems to be incorporating a lot more different strategy, experimenting with things, trying out different overall openings and follow-ups from those openings. And I think we're still gonna see mainly Blink Stalkers coming into play. But ultimately, Ultimately, I think he's gonna mix in some other stuff as well. I hope, at least. But against Innovation, I mean, you're kind of, you might be prone to just kind of go for like the straight up, the play that he thinks works best against Terran. So there might be a little bit less overall experimenting these moments in time. But that's one of the interesting parts, right? Is that still going to be experimenting, or is it going to just play the game that, you know what, we know that he can execute very well. He's kind of perfected the builds for. And yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see if that's going to be the case. Countdown occurring in Countdown City. Countdown Town. Everdream. Everdream. Zest. Innovation. Game 1 of the best of 5. What else can I say, guys? Not much more. Not much more. So let's stay quiet until we get to do the introductions. You know what? I kind of messed that up. I should have stayed quiet when I said let's stay quiet. Didn't really do that, did I? Anyway, I have difficulties doing so sometimes. In the bottom left side, we have ourselves a red Protoss fighting for none other than Raise Your Edge Gaming. He is Zest. Top right side, the blue Terran. Can he still do it? Can he still take down those top-notch Protoss players, especially when they seem to be in their absolute prime? Here's the blue Kaizi Gaming Terran. He is Innovation. Alrighty, here is that first probe moving across the map, ready to get his scout on. What does the scouter say about his power level? We're not quite sure just yet. Are illegal like ratings just basically power ratings for for StarCraft 2? I wonder. be something that adds to the overall experience, actually. If you have like the Lego lag ratings, maybe like somewhere represented in the in-game overlay from these two players. It's gonna get an inclination as to who should be the favorite in the overall thing, and then whenever an upset happens, you know, or maybe upsets will become more likely to happen because and you always have one guy being the underdog, and Innovation versus Zest, that could go both ways. One of them here, legal lag wise, the underdog. I think Zest might be that one. Might have the short end of the stick in that sense, but right now, as we mentioned before, that all could change in the current meta of this matchup. First Reaper. As well as Quick Marauder Concussive Shell here for Innovation. I think we have seen this before, right? I'm pretty sure we have seen this before, and somebody mentioned, I'm not sure, was it? I'm not sure who it was anymore, but somebody in the chat said that he's seen Innovation do this multiple times. Like 3 times, and every single time he lost with it. That was the 4th time he saw him do it, and he actually won with it, so I've only seen this win so far, but these Marauders from the start, I'm still wondering a little bit here what he really hopes to achieve with them. To me, it feels like he's trying to get like early gateway unit kills, such as this Adept, but you know what? Adepts, they have shade, so he's gonna get out anyway. So yeah, it just feels like an awkward one to me. And now, the double barracks and a factory follow-up. It's just a little bit of a weird one. It's like, it reminds me as well of Innovation for a period of time. He likes to innovate, right? People call him the machine, and he just does the same build over and over again. I think that is innovation from a past lifetime. That's not innovation anymore. If you think that is innovation, I don't think you've been paying attention recently to innovation. He's been maxing it up, and he's been doing things like, you know what, opening up with the Marauders and Concussive Shell, right? You don't see that really from anybody else. He also experimented with Liberators here and there a lot, right? Trying to get Liberators very quickly against Protoss, and then trying to just force fights with Liberators instead of more so siege tanks and such. So that is pretty darn cool. These Marauders over here, I still wonder what it's really supposed to bring. Maybe it's a way to avoid having to build a safety bunker, because that's mostly there in case Stalkers come across the map, and the Marauders with the Concussive Shell do well against those. But, yeah, there must be some kind of a reasoning here, right? Yeah, this should lead into a push, you would say. But I'm not even sure if it will be. That's another weird part. I've only seen this once, so it's rough to say. Okay, there we go. It's now across the map. But then, like, it still feels like, I don't know why you're still getting the Concussive Shell that quickly. It does seem to be like maybe something that is just there to facilitate a defense against one thing in particular. Maybe the Maxpacks build or something like that. If you have a proxy gateway and trying to get Stalkers very quickly in the base of Terran, I think, you know, that just seems like the most likely thing. Because he never really gets offensive with it. But you know what, now with having that Marauder count here, might be able to get something done. There is the Stim. It's already a shield battery though, and yeah, Innovation, he's just backing off. It's like, alright, well, that didn't work. Okay, you actually made things, never mind. I'm out. +1 attack and the combat shield as well coming in. And I mean, I love Innovation and him trying to do new things, but sometimes it does seem to be a little bit underwhelming. And he tries to stick with it for a little bit too long without really ever showing exactly why this works. But you know what, it's Innovation, so very often he does this type of stuff. And then ultimately he still wins the game because it's Innovation, and his overall macro just kind of helps him get out of the initial bad start. Alright, off he goes again. I mean, he didn't lose any of his bio just yet, right? He lost a single Marauder. That's it. He only killed a single probe as well, though, to be fair, but maybe this is a moment in time where he is going to be able to do something here. Another hallucinated Phoenix, scouting it out, though. 2 siege tanks, that's a lot better than just 2 Widow Mines, of course. With the Widow Mines here being part of this as well still. It's very nice to see. No force fields just quite yet. Okay, there they go. Trying to get the bio far enough away from the siege tanks so he's going to be able to shoot those down without being shot by the siege tanks at all. But Innovation taking a lot of room here, making a lot of space for himself. Using these siege tanks now, going to be able to start shooting away at the Nexus. It is, in fact, still a 2-base push, and, I mean, a shield battery. Okay, there's the overcharge right now. He's going to try to save this Nexus. Is that the right call? The Widow Mine hitting right on top of most of those Zealots. And, in fact, you know what? With another siege tank coming in from the back as well, it looks like Innovation just absolutely crushes here. And holy moly, I was going on and on about the 2-base timing attacks not quite working out anymore, but Innovation's like, you know what? You know what? I can still do this, Kozan. Don't you worry about me, man. I still know how to make this work. There's no problems here. We can still make it work. And manage to push on through. Take out well, the entirety of the army and takes out the Nexus too. Says nothing left with a GG. Had to tap out at that moment in time. Wondering if he actually knew what was happening in Innovation's mind overall. I mean, if he knew this was coming in, I would have expected more shield batteries to be placed, right? The first initial attack he saw coming right off the bat with that hallucinated Phoenix. The second attack, he kind of caught the tail end of a couple of Marines still straggling behind of the rest of the attack when he was already halfway across. That's a lot of time, right? It's not that much time, but it's overall in StarCraft 2 terms, that's a lot of time where you get to prep. I don't think he hit his force fields all that well. He didn't get to be across the map with his Blink Stalkers to try and delay, force the siege tanks into siege mode. He didn't get to intercept reinforcements. None of that really happened there. And yes, that's just, I feel like he just wasn't anticipating anything like that to be coming his way. And takes the loss. Takes the loss. Yeah, first game, Innovation. Also, that one Widow Mine taking down a lot of the HP on those Zealots, and very quickly those Zealots just vaporized, right? That was still a good 5 to 6 Zealots, I believe. I mean, very quickly, that was just one Zealot. So, yeah. Huh. Me prepping obsessed, and here's Innovation being like, you know what, no. Still the same thing, guys. We can still do this. There's no problems. Don't worry about it. You know what? I'm going to do this again here. I'm pretty sure he will do it again. If it works out that well, very likely him going to be trying to do this again here. Alright. So I sneakily try to get some raisins in my mouth. Shh, little bag of plastic. Don't yell at them. Alright, there we go. In the top left side of the map, we have ourselves a red Protoss. And he is Razor Edge Gaming, Zest. As I was saying red Protoss, I almost stopped myself thinking like, wait, what? I'm trying to say top right is in the top left, mate. And then I realized as well again, oh wait, no, I'm saying red, not right. And then I was like, oh right, okay. Had a whole conversation in my mind there. Quick back and forth. Very weird. Weird experience. Anyway, in the bottom right side, we have ourselves the blue Terran player fighting for Kaisi Gaming. He is Innovation. Taking the reins from Mr. Time, of course, the other Kaisi Terran player that we saw here today. Going down against Rogue. It would be cool to see Innovation going up then against Rogue and taking his vengeance for the team right there, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see, of course, if he does get the opportunity or not. Still a question. Still very far removed from a foregone conclusion, I would say. Somebody saying you should have just given up the Nexus. NG Nino, am I saying that right? NG Nino? That's just a tough call to make, man. That's such a tough call to make. I mean, if he held there, he probably, you know what, would have been in a marvelous position. If he did lose that Nexus, Innovation was still making his own third base behind it, right? So if he just gave it up, it would have just been behind anyway. He didn't want to be behind against Innovation. If he held, he would have been in a more favorable position overall. Give up Nexus and GG. Yeah, it's a rough one. It's a rough one to do, I would say. Ultimately, right, he did still lose the game in that moment in time, so you can make the case that if he had lost, if he had given up the Nexus, ultimately he may have had still a bigger, a better chance of winning that one, because he did lose it in the end. But yeah, it would have been a rough position to play from, for sure. And it's rough to make that call whether or not you can win or you can't win a fight. Ultimately, it turned out it seemed like a fight that he really wasn't in a position to win at all, unfortunately. But you can't really. It's still even for these players, right? After having played so much, it's a rough one to make. What are these Marauders doing here? Innovation. Go back home. You're drunk. Wow. It's kind of funny how he's like, he moves up to the Proto space. He's like, okay, you got 2 Stalkers and an Adept. Okay, never mind. This build doesn't work anymore now. That's unfortunate. I mean, I guess there was a shield battery too. There is a shield battery. He didn't even see the shield battery though, so... But still, like, it's such a mystery to me still what he is actually trying to accomplish with these 2 Marauders. If I ever get to interview him again, this is going to be my main question. What in the world is happening with these Marauders? Alright, Dark Shrine has finished up right now. Now we have that Warp Prism warping them in. The Reaper being able to get the first sign here immediately. Missile turrets have been thrown up already. Having one in the main base right now. The natural base also having one actually. Yeah. Looks like he had known. Let's see. He didn't see, but interesting. Interesting. Maybe it was because of the lack of the third base. He was kind of expecting something here, right? I think that's a really good call to make. Move back on. That may be the reason actually why he did move backwards with those Marauders as well. Interesting. Interesting. Well, it turned out to be the right call, and now ultimately this Warp Prism with two Archons in it. Just have those 2 Marauders in my mind right now. Getting a little bit low here, and oh, this is pretty cool. Come on, Marine Stim. It's worth the efforts, right? Worth the efforts trying to catch that Warp Prism right there. Close but no cigar. Close but no Steven Seagal. The close of Steven Seagal. That's how that expression should be. It wouldn't make any sense anymore, but except for us. Or when nah, but it still wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense to anyone. Except to me for some reason. Anyway. Extended thermal lance. Of course, a great overall spell here. Going to be acquired by the red Protoss named Zest. one of the better ones, I would say. It's pretty much as crucial as Link speed. Well, I guess you can go for other units. You can't really replace Links with anything else, except for maybe roaches. But even then, you're kind of handicapping yourself without having those Links as a potential surrounding force and forcing a fight. But anyway, alright. First, we're having another push here from Innovation. A lot of the forces still on the right side. Those Colossi running away from the siege tanks. Getting a nice engagement overall so far, I would say, there for Zest. And cleaning up more of the bio units right there. That may be enough for Innovation to tuck his tail and run back to, I want to say Mommy, but Mommy Command Center. It was cute. It would make more sense. Yeah, that was very similar to the first initial push the real push we saw in game number 1, right? This time around, though, I mean, Zest, he got on top of the push without the siege tanks being in siege mode. That's one of the really big things. And overall, catching a couple of those bio units, he already has the Colossi. I think that's the biggest part, right? Just so much easier now to defend against something like that. Very marine heavy push when you do have 2 Colossi out already. Going up to 3 right now. Great pre-splitting that happening from Zest. Neither of these players having a lot of overall awareness on the map right now, but both of them being in the most crucial locations, I would say. Although the Vikings now leaving that location. There is still a War Prism, right? Yeah, there is. Okay, just going to utilize that one for more accurate Colossi micro, it looks like. The Observer, I mean, I hate to say it, but it seems like the... Oh my dear lord, that is a lot of SCVs right now. Okay, we're having the SCVs being pulled as well. The bio actually already taking a fight here without the SCVs there as a buffer. That could be a big mistake. Okay, in come the SCVs now. As he lost too much bio already. That's quite a couple of Marine and Marauder corpses there. A single siege tank on the right side should be able to be taken out rather easily. Instead, Innovation is going to have a fight right here on his hand on the left side. Where, you know what, it looks like he's just going to get obliterated by these lasers. The laser show is a bit too much for him. His retina is being burned out, I would say. And yeah, Zest is going to be able to take this one. GG is called. Zest holds on steadily and takes game number 2. Alright. With a very nice defense there of the first initial push. Was able to acquire more AoE damage, more of a buffer force with more zealots and such. Very clean execution there for Zest, but yeah. Innovation falling a little bit short there. I think, you know what, moving back with the initial push, losing a lot of Marines there with the medevacs as well. Already puts you back, right? Already, right off the bat, you're behind. There's no discussion about it. You're just in a bad spot at that moment in time. And then Zest just bulking up more and more so. And finding an easy victory there later on. And we're tied up right now. Innovation and Zest, 1-2-1. And, you know what? I think Zest looking incredibly strong still. And that first game, a little bit of a bop, right? A little bit of an awkward one. I don't think he was anticipating the 2-base timing attacks that much anymore. But game number 2, immediate reaction from him. Going for those quicker Colossi. And blammo. Made it look easy again, right? Made it look easy again. Alright, anyway. Game number 3. In this best of 5, we're on the halfway mark. As soon as this game is halfway done. We won't know it's halfway done, of course, but ultimately at some point here we're going to be reaching the halfway mark of this best of 5. If we do go to the ace match, but let's just assume that we will, because, you know, these guys, I would love to see these guys play a little bit more. In the bottom left side, there's a blue Protoss. He is from Razor Edge Gaming. He is Zest. Top right side, we have ourselves the Red Terran player. Fighting for the Kai Z Gamers. He is Innovation. One of the most OG of OG StarCraft players there is. Alright. Chrome. I believe this is one of the picks of I'm not sure actually. Huh. Yeah, I can't see party chat here, can I? I don't know. It's a rough one to make. Honestly, because if Innovation picked this one, then I would be surprised seeing him trying to do so many timing attacks overall. I would anticipate him picking the smaller maps here. Chrome's such a massive map. Hard to make those 2 base timing attacks work on because there is such a long distance to walk with. And overall, I mean, sure, it's going to be easier for the Terran to kind of expand and maybe hit bases with drops and such. But it's not really the way we've seen Innovation play so far. Oh, nice fake out pylon right there on the right side. Let's see how Innovation will react to seeing only one pylon here in the Proto space. But yeah, so I was saying, I think this favors the Protoss a little bit more so because they can, of course, with the War Prism and such, negate any type of long distance walking for reinforcements and just get reinforcements right on top of the battle. And yeah, ultimately on a big map, you know, the bigger the distance is, the more of an advantage that's going to be. Oh well, gets a probe there. Nice Reaper boy. Didn't require a lot of micro overall for it, but you know what, still gets it, so praise where praise is due. Alright, now the real question on my mind is what Innovation is going to be bringing to the table. We don't have the Marauder opening here, thank God. Don't get me wrong, I would love to see it work out at some point, but so far I still don't have a clue what it's really supposed to be hitting. And he's going for the more straight up Widowmine drop. We've seen him do this time and time again when he was still on top of his TVP game. And always making it work, even against the biggest, the baddest micro players such as Zest. Even when they were having themselves a Blink Stalker opening. Now, seeing these 3 Stalkers, already a bit of a giveaway, right? Now, did he see the Twilight? Where is the Twilight, actually? Oh, it's here. Right, of course. Of course it is. Oh, why wouldn't it be? Okay, well. 3 Widowmines. I just wait to see how this is going to do. I mean, Innovation should have a little bit of an inclination, right? Stargate units should have already kind of hit his base at this moment in time. Unless Zest is bulking them up. We don't have an engineering bay yet, though, so... Could have been a thing. Anyway. 4 Blink Stalkers here. Oh, they do have Blink. They should have Blink. They're not using Blink. They have Blink, right? They do. It didn't get cancelled. Just not being used. I guess he wanted to use it in order to just dodge the shots. Interesting. Oh, might still be able to get that medevac right there. Medevac finds the Twilight Council instead. And Zest here, not very nice, clean hold overall. Finding a good defensive posture. And maintaining a delicate worker Blinkstalker balance. And I suppose the Widowmine drop overall, right? Not as important to do damage as we see from those other two by timing attacks. 2 by timing attacks. Timing attacks. What are you saying? Team on attacks? No, wait. Anyway, yeah. So, those Widow Mines not really crucial to hit the dead spot, but of course would have been nice. It would have been great. And Innovation playing a little bit more the standard way that we're used to be seeing here from Terrence recently. Going for a third base himself. Just kind of macroing up, getting his upgrades to 1-1 right now. Very crucial stuff. And on the other side, Zest seems to be taking advantage of this. Getting himself a lot of gateways actually. 6 gateways, already has 4 of them. So going up to 10 right now. The Templar Archives also on the way. Fully sticking on the gateway army right here, and I'd say that's a good call overall. As I mentioned before, it's a big map, so that War Prism advantage even bigger on this one, I would say. So the more you know what, the more use you can get out of this, the better it would be, as I see it myself. Some High Templar now as well. Interesting to see what he's going to be planning here. I mean, is he going to try to ferry these in one by one? Or what's the deal? Oh, he's losing stuff right now. Hold up. Auto turret harassments. Of course, that is a thing still. And more units. It's like, huh. Is Zest anticipating this to be a part of the main base? I'm pretty sure he knows it isn't. I guess he's just setting up a attack here on this side. Tries to come in with the War Prism, and then as the army units of Innovation are trying to deal with this, maybe another warp-in might occur. Right, 10 Zealots actually start warping in. That could be quite a situation. And then he wants to attack where this was right here onto the third base. And ultimately, feels a little bit awkward. Okay. Where'd the War Prism go? The War Prism is here. The Army of Innovation just left the building. And... okay, there is an observer that is completely aware. He did see it. Yeah, comes the attack right now for Zest. He starts to whittle down the SCV numbers. But at the same time, of course, it's going to be losing a... well, tremendous amount of probes as well. Zest trying to run them away as far as possible, away from the base, trying to lure those Terran forces further out of position here. There's a single Dark Templar shooting, trying to hit up those Marauders and the Marines right now, but medevac healing seems to be pretty good so far, helping him out quite a bit, not losing too much to this. The buildings of Innovation need to start lifting up here, I would say. This is a... what in the... that's a lot of Widow Mines there. Yeah, it's a strange one for sure. The probes of Zest, of course, did manage to evacuate here. He's just trying to get up to 400 minerals right now with these 3 probes, and they did manage to do so. So thank God for him. Does manage to get that amount of money, so he will be able to make another Nexus here if he wants to, which I would be surprised if he doesn't decide to do that myself, as this base trade does seem to be an absolute base trade and a half. The command center, oh, it does start burning, so that will slowly be whittled down without any further help needed from anything else. Innovation decides, you know what, I need to go backwards. And I think this might be a good call, honestly. The army supply for him seems to be in a pretty good position. He still has the command center here as well, actually, so keep that into account. And I'm loving these barracks right now, ready as a setup as a defensive front. Zest moves around it, though. Looking for a surround. Army supply of Innovation still much larger, but there is most of it on the other side of the map still. Okay, that's most of the splash damage gone right now. Interference Matrix on the Archon shoots the other one down. There's another good Widowmine hit, and it looks like Innovation may just be able to win this one. More reinforcements coming in, and there it is. GG is called. Innovation winning the base trade. Well played. Feels like Inno doesn't know how to play macro versus toss. Innovation, I don't think this is a secret. He doesn't like playing against Protoss, especially late game. He mentioned this before a couple of times. he just doesn't want to play that part of the game here. We see it sometimes, very, very occasionally. But usually if he does play it against it, he doesn't do all that well because he's not that used to like disruptor micro and management against disruptors, right? You need to be really on top of your army and your army control, and it just doesn't seem like he has that in his mind to do it correctly or something. I don't know how to exactly explain it because I can't do it myself. But if you take, for example, Innovation versus Clem, right? The biggest difference right there, overall, their macro seems very similar, right? Both of them just kind of able to macro out more stuff than anybody else for some reason, and we're not quite sure why. It's just because they're so freaking clean at the start of the game that they just have more stuff than other people by a pretty large amount. But then in TVP in particular, I think this is showcased very well that Clem just kind of has this overall micro potential against Protoss, where he just looking at him playing against disruptors it's like night and day in comparison to seeing Innovation playing against disruptors. But yeah. He does do a lot of all-in pushes, that's right. He does a lot of timing attacks as well. So sometimes the attack for Innovation, it hits, but it hits like with a third base being built in behind him as well. So even if he doesn't absolutely kill Zest, he's still going to be in an okay position overall. He's still going to be solid, right? He's still going to be ready to dish out another punch relatively quickly. But yeah, for Zest overall, I would say, I mean, game number 2, he made it look silly, right? That push. Just stay with the regular game. Don't do anything crazy. Don't go for mass gateways and then, you know what, set up like a big flanking force to go for a base trade. Because, I mean, overall, that third game, Zest was the person that initiated the base trade, right? By seeing the Terran army move out and then going for the offensive. I'm pretty sure that Zest was hoping that he would force Innovation backwards. I'm pretty sure that was kind of the overall plan. Especially because we saw the War Prism as well, trying to get into the main base. So it kind of was a multiple step plan that kind of devolved as he was trying to execute it. First we saw the War Prism trying to get into the main base, but there were turrets there, and he was like, you know what, I don't want to lose my War Prism too quickly. I needed to get a big warp in here to make this strategy work. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to try to make something else work in this situation. He moved out of it with the War Prism. He was rotating around, kind of finding an opportunity, a way into that main base. And then what he saw was the army of the Innovation moving out with that Observer. And that's when I feel like he may have just kind of been, alright, well, maybe we can still force him to move backwards if I go for the attack right now. Or at least get a lot of damage done before anything happens there. And, well, we all saw what happened there. Just that's not quite having the stuff that he needed. Alright. Again, no tech lab here for Innovation. Again, no quick concussive shell with the 2 Marauders. It does really feel like a blind counter to, like, Proxy Gateway to me. How often do we see Proxy Gateway, you know? More so a ladder build, maybe, perhaps, than a real tournament setting. Rough to say. Rough to say. Okay. Zest once again going for the Blink Stalkers. Very occasionally we do see the Adepts as well, the Adept Glaives versus Terrans being utilized. Because as a Terran, sometimes you just get blindsided by it, right? And then you just absolutely get smothered by by a crazy amount of adepts all of a sudden. But yeah, knowing Zest, I don't think that's going to be the case here. Especially on this map. Probably not the case. It doesn't do well against Terrans on this map in particular. Tiny ramps right here make it more difficult, of course. And the wall in the second ramp right there as well. Instead, we're seeing a Dark Shrine once again here. I'm pretty sure that's how we saw... Oh, he gets in with the Reaper-nade. Nice maneuvers there from Innovation. Excuse me. Oh, did he get the scout there? He did not. Okay, well, that's a big deal. Not seeing that Dark Shrine there is potentially going to cost him a little bit here. Third base full Zest is on the way this time around. Oh, he's going to scout it again here, being warped in. He sees the Warp Prism, sees the Dark Templars now as well. That's a big deal. No engine... Oh, wait, there is an engineering bay. Okay. Missile turrets a little bit later, though, this time around. We do have 2 scans available, though, so that should be the golden ticket here to the defense, but already losing 6 workers here. Should be able to get out as well is Zest's DTs. There we go. Keeps them secret, keeps them safe. It's a good way to start dealing with this, of course. With a mine drop may be able to get a bit of damage done here as well, but quick reaction from Zest, and actually both of them hitting the probe that's going into the gas there. Very unfortunate. Oh, the Widow, or I mean the Warp Prism, the Widow Prism. Almost way the Widow Prism right there. So he would have left his Widow, well, his other Warp Prism wife a Widow. His other one. I'm pretty sure he only would have one, but anyway. Warp Prisms. I'm pretty sure Warp Prisms are people too, right? They're also Protoss units. The same as like the Immortal and the Stalkers. There's actual Protoss in there. Pretty sure the Warp Prism is also just like some sort of Protoss consciousness that's operating the thing. I would assume. Oh, Widow Mines here. A little bit late with the pull away. Oh, only 2 probes though. That's impressive. I gotta give it to him. You know what? When Zest makes those moves, it is incredibly impressive. Now, here comes again the 2-base timing attack, it looks like, from Innovation pretty soon. Just wants to get himself a couple of medevacs probably to heal up those. Actually, he's going for Vikings. He doesn't have a single medevac and his army's already stimmed at least once, right? So, I mean, one more stim here and his army suddenly is going to all be in the orange. Some of them already in the red here. It's going to be rough, especially when you're up against Colossus, right? A second Colossi is about to be ready. There's no extended thermal lance, though, so maybe if we have the best splitting we've ever seen from Innovation here, maybe that's still going to work out. He has Vikings as well to poke away at those Colossus, but it still seems like it's going to be a tricky one. Nice positioning there from Zest. Trying to really make it hard for Innovation to get this real estate right here. Oh, in they go again. Siege tanks moving in further, but that's a lot of dead Marines already. Taking the brunt of the damage right now is Innovation in this fight. And look at that. Stalkers as well coming in from the backside. Gonna be able to pick off a siege tank for free. Nice blinking away as well. And Zest now with a surrounding army of Stalkers coming in here, wanting to keep cleaning up the reinforcements. Innovation's going to have to pull backwards here. There's no way he can still commit to a fight. I think, you know what, Zest has found himself in, once again, a marvelous position here. With the same overall safe place that he was doing in game number 2. It's not really the way that you really anticipate Zest to be playing, right? He's kind of playing very much like I would anticipate Stats to play, right? He's playing defensive. He's getting Blink Stalkers, going into quick Colossi afterwards with extended Thermal Lance. A very, very safe play overall to deal with this type of stuff. And you know what? Seeing Zest kind of mixing this type of stuff in, it really is just overall... well, it shows how great Zest is, right? He's not a player that just does a lot of big attacks now and again, right? Whether it be Adept Glaives, and then he just gets a lot of renown from that, which is also a lot of stuff that he does. He's not that crazy of an aggressive player. He did still open it up with DTs, I suppose. Yes, that's right. But ultimately, he didn't get that much done with it. Maybe 5 kills in total with the Dark Templar, I want to say. And now he is struggling with this attack, though. To be fair, the quick Viking count for innovation here is really cool to see. Adjusting for the, well, with the previous games in mind as well. Twilight Council goes down. The siege tank's gonna siege up in range of those Colossi, and here is one hell of a volley, immediately taking down one of the Colossi. That's a big deal. You know what, Zest? And this is actually starting to spiral out of control. Zest is in the main base, or the natural base here, with a ton of zealots, being able to pick away at those SCVs. So this is a last-ditch effort right now for innovation, but I think he's gonna be okay against it, because there's just not that much remaining here. The Zealots still going strong. There is a wall, though, so they won't be able to do much more. The Dark Shrine also going to go down. The attack of the attack of Zest is slowly getting whittled away, having less and less of an opportunity to try and make something happen here, I suppose. More stuff for innovation marching across the map. He wants to end it right here, right now, and so does Zest before the rest of those forces are there, but it doesn't look like he will get the opportunity. Innovation has done it. GG is called, and innovation takes it nonetheless. And that is a rough one. Zest not seeing innovation rotating around to the right side, and just didn't have what it took anymore to force him out of that position. I mean, the Viking count grew to an insane amount. The siege tank count was a crazy amount. And, yeah, I thought Zest put himself in a really good spot, but ultimately, innovation just a little bit ahead in those types of situations. The Zealot run by, I mean, it was definitely interesting, right? Ultimately, if you do hold that base down at the same time, or at least a third of the natural base, you win. You will win, right? He was trying to buy more time. And if there's just less stuff coming in from innovation, then that is the game he's trying to play, right? Just trying to make it a possibility for him. Like, the longer this game keeps going, the more likely it is for him to actually win the engagement and then get himself in a winning position. But ultimately, he really needed those zealots at the front. He really needed those zealots to tank the damage for the Colossi and the Stalkers, because they just blew up. They just blew up like crazy, man. They pulled themselves over with some gasoline and just put themselves on fire. That was rough. That was rough. Anyway, you know what? I was wrong. I thought Zest was going to win this one. Innovation taking it with a 3-1 victory there. A lot cleaner than I thought it would be as well. But yeah, well done there by Innovation, showing that he is still an incredible force to be reckoned with in the PvT matchup, even though we saw Zest absolutely dominating Cure in that previous group stage. Here he was against Innovation, and Innovation kind of showing, you know what? This is still my matchup. This is still something I can make work. My 2 base timing attacks absolutely obliterate still. And to be fair, that was something we saw not that much from Cure in the previous games. Cure was a little bit more willing to step away from the 2 base timing attacks. Innovation, though, still making them roll and still making them work in his favor. Well, all right. Now, People of the internet. That means we're gonna have to wait a little bit here, and then we're gonna go into a one hell of a show, a best of 7 between Rogue and Innovation. I mean, a ZVT finals, a best of 7, and they are Rogue and they are Innovation. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I am quite stoked about this. The GSL finalist, I'm saying finalist, he is not a finalist, he is absolutely the champion right now. Going up against Innovation, somebody that time and time again proves that he is capable of taking down these top-notch Zergs. He's afraid of nobody, bringing down Serral multiple times, of course, in the past as well, in a couple of great tournament finals and big, long series drawn out, the whole shebang. And I honestly, no matter how impressive Innovation's TVP is, overall his TVZ is, that is the reason why I fall in love with this guy's play. And I'm very interested in seeing how Rogue's going to be dealing with it. He looked very tough against time. And overall, it's gonna be cool to see that interaction, you know what, between Innovation and Rogue, to see where it's going to be different. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna quickly shoot you all into the how you might call it, a little bit of a commercial screen with Play the Weeks continuously showcasing for you all. And yeah, as that's happening, I'm gonna close my window because it's raining like crazy and it's kind of coming inside. And I'll be right back with more StarCraft 2 action for all of your eyeballs to enjoy. Remember the Matcherino page as well, guys. If you haven't already, go check it out. Carry your weight in the StarCraft 2 scene, I would say, right? Feel better about yourself for supporting StarCraft 2 and the pro scene with it. All right, see you in a little bit, guys.
Kidding? You are kidding me. This is crazy. This is about to get really wild here. Okay, the Dark Shrine is done. Where are those DT warpings going to happen? He's got the gas. 3 DTs coming in on the top side here. 3 DTs is more than enough. The moment these DTs strike, I mean, he's got to know. Yeah, I mean, this is an all-in scenario for a laser. He will lose every single queen here on the backside. All of these transfuses just getting burnt. Okay, so Estrella's low, but he's not out of this just yet. Again, there's nothing to stop these DTs. The lair is only 50 or 75% done. He's able to
Probably not, as this attack is knocking at the front door. He's gonna go ahead and drop here. Oh, is he in position, parting? Oh, just barely not in position.
Those Marines have stim. Come on, Inno. Oh my god, did you see that Widowmine connection?
Oh man,
Oh my god! Oh my god. 14 probes killed by 1 Widowmine. Oh my god. This is so disgusting.
A little bit scary right now, not gonna lie. All right, let's see, into the main base we go. Oh, those are sentries in that war prison. Those are sentries in that war prison, boys. That is a great force field right there, and that could be even more so the end of Kjør. He needs to either elevate everything into the main base. There's a second sentry. Oh my dear lord, Kjør, you are being tormented here by the evil red Protoss called Patience, and there just doesn't seem to be any escape for you whatsoever, no matter how much you try. 13 more SCVs go down, and Patience making this look like he is playing against somebody from an entirely different league right now. Kjør coming in, but there you go, GG being called. What are we watching? What are we watching, mate? Impressive how he's still being able to find some sort of damage right now. There we go, 2 more workers. Not bad. Gonna get another one. Yes, he is. 4 workers, 5 workers, that's 5 workers, 6 workers? Oh my dear lord, guys, this may just start to snowball into Cure's favor all of a sudden. 7 workers, just like that. By these Reapers, even getting an 8th. Link speed, of course, still not done yet. 9 workers, 10 workers, what is happening here? 12 workers in total still go down here because of Cure's 3 Reaper adjustments. Oh, we're back. Sorry. I was just enjoying those play of the weeks. I was just having a good time watching those things, and then suddenly, poof, there's Kozen. I'm like, huh. This seems like a very bad play of the week. What's this guy just doing? He's just sitting there. Slumped away in his chair, like, oh, I'm the hunchback of the ITaX. Alright. Guys, we're still waiting a little bit here. We have Innovation and Rogue. I think Rogue needed a 5-minute break, or Inu needed a somebody needed a 5-minute break. And that was 3 minutes ago, so we still have a 2-minute break here. And in that 2-minute break, of course, we're you know what, just chilling. Oh, that's Rogue again. He's back. He's back. Came back around. Came to find us. Looking into this. Alright. So, yeah. Rogue versus Innovation. It should be a good one. I think Innovation and Rogue, it's rough. It's a very rough one to call. Rogue, he doesn't seem to lose finals. Is that because he just, I don't know, he gets superpowers in finals? Or is it because he actually preps for finals very well and plans ahead very well? Now, both of those could be true at the same time, but which one is more relevant? I think here we are going to be seeing a little bit of an insight as to, alright, is it mostly because of planning that Rogue is capable of taking all these finals? Or is it mostly because he's just really good in finals and he's overall just very quick, on the spot thinking, capable of coming up with ways to gain victory in a big best of something series, right? Whether it be best of 5, best of 7, best of 9, whatever. I guess that is still a part of planning, but it's different planning, right? You have pre-planning and then you have current series planning, just on the spot planning, trying to. I think that's more like overall. I don't know if we can call that planning. You know, I think that's more of a tactician's kind of mind in a sense. Well, yeah, And on the fly, on the whim, kind of quick-witted man, capable of flexibly mixing things up on the fly, right? I guess that's the opposite of planning. That's yeah. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. They're doing the vetoes right now. It looks like. It's an A, B, A, B, A, B, C system. So we're going to be able to see exactly which maps these guys wanted to be playing. Innovation getting the first pick. Afterwards, Rogue. So the first map will be Innovation's pick. Second map will be Rogue pick. Third map will be Innovation pick. Fourth map, Rogue, etc., etc. And let's see what they came up with. So Innovation picking Submarine, Eternal Empire, and Ice and Chrome. It looks like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm not wrong. And Rogue picking Death Aura, picking Golden Wall, and picking Everdream. So of course it's not in that order, but there you go. First map going to be Submarine. Innovation fully embracing this map right now. Out of all 7 maps he could pick, he chose this one to play Rogue on first. And I can't say I blame him, honestly. This yellow, bluish, greenish map, it looks amazing, first and foremost. I doubt that is the reason why he picked it. Although, who knows? Who knows what goes on in the mind of innovation? That crazy, crazy man. But ultimately, I would say this is just a big, good map. Well, not a big map. It's a small map, but it's a big map for Terrans, right? A lot of big plays can be made on a map like this because there's such a small distance to be walking. Terran overall, I would say. I mean, I know they have the Medivacs with the boosts, but ultimately, if you take it into consideration, they might not be as slow as Protoss, but because they can't warp in their forces across the map, the smaller the map, the better it is for them. Right, you can still make use of that mobility of the medevac, but overall the Zergs are quicker than you anyway with the Zerglings and the Mutalisk. So why bother playing on a bigger map, as that is usually not going to be working out in your favor. Anyway, here he is on his first map choice. The red Terran player in the bottom right side, Kaisi Gaming's Innovation. Top left side, we have ourselves a blue Zerg looking for victory here. Of course, say the man that never loses a final. Will he finally lose a final? We'll have to wait and see. It's the Jinna Green Wings player. He is a rogue. Going up against two Titans right now. It's all up in the air. It's all to play for. And honestly, I have no idea who to root for here. I have no idea who is going to be the favorite ultimately. I think this is going to be an extremely tight series, a very close match. Seeing Innovation playing against Zest just now, I mean, sure, he did a lot of timing attacks, but it did feel like a clean execution. His macro was on point overall, his response was on point, right? Reading into the situations correctly. And, you know what, crisp overall movements, which is very important. That does carry on through into the later game as well, and I think that's where we're headed in at least a couple of these games. Maybe not on this one in particular, because we do have that spawning pool first, of course, for Rogue, but you know what? I mean, when you're on Submarine, why let it go into a later game here, or even in the mid-game, if you can just try and get that advantage at the start, and then maybe finish it off early on, being Rogue in this situation. Rogue, that is the first initial for Zerglings. SCV Scout is very important at this moment in time. It's going to be able to see that that hatchery being extremely late, and it's going to have to make the decision to send this backwards and keep his Reaper at home. This is a very important part. It's a very important thing to do. Is that what he's doing, though? Yes. No. Wait, what? Where's he going? Where are you off to? Kevin? Kevin, don't leave us, Kevin. Kevin the Reaper deciding... Okay, no, he's coming back. He's coming back. He realized those SCVs, they are gonna be done and crisped. Done and crisped? Is that... No, it's not a word. Gonna be done and dusted. That... No, I guess that's something you could say. They're gonna die a horrible, gruesome death if he does leave right now. The Reaper inside of this Overlord, so Rogue playing it safe with those Zerglings still. Needs to be careful. Ooh, okay, doesn't get spotted. That was rather close. Innovation anticipating these links at any point right now, but okay, it's going to send that Reaper across the map. Important, of course, to still see what is coming his way right now. As he didn't see those links, it's becoming a little bit more questionable as to what his opponent is up to. And right now we do have link speed as well, of course, finished up. Those links trying to make something happen here, but ultimately, I mean, yeah, 4 links without any SCVs to kill on the low grounds. Not gonna achieve much. Not gonna achieve much. There's a couple of leg spikes here going on, but that's just, you know what, I don't even know sometimes. It's weird that it happens at this stage in the game, and then it doesn't really get worse later on. You know, that's the weird part about it, but I think it is just mostly due to the me connecting to the Korean servers sometimes and then observing and such. It does sometimes seem to bring some difficulties with it. Anyway, I'm glad to have all sensible people here in the chat realizing that this is the case, and nobody fully just being perplexed about, you know, what is this? I thought we were in a futuristic setting where everything is perfect right now, technologically wise. Well, yes, we're getting there. It's not quite the case, though. Unfortunately for us StarCraft 2 fanatics, not quite the case. Anyway, Reaper here, going for the natural base, looking for a little bit of a poking. Checking to see the drone count there, seeing a good amount, not that many links here available. The Baneling Nest only now being created. Innovation feels safe to start moving across. Didn't see the Baneling Nest though, so that is it's a good point to be made in this moment in time. With the Raven here as well, it's kind of interesting. Going to be a lot easier for him to clean up this creep here. Doesn't have to invest scans. But the Queen's doing a great job so far as well. Kind of just rotating around, not letting those aliens get the better of him so far. You know what, almost up to the point where I'm like, you know what, just throw down an auto turret to get rid of those overlords right here. So your Hellions are going to be able to rotate a lot easier. Only 2 creep tumors go down so far. Still no commitment yet to clean up that overlord, which is what I'm hoping to see. Yeah, there were Queen Stab before as well, Innovation. It's like, he goes from here, oh, there's Queen Stab, moves back, and then he's like, he pokes in at the same place. Now, oh wait, there's Queen's here. Kind of funny. Kind of funny. Anyway, moving back with those aliens. Yeah, he's not getting too much done. A couple of creep tumors here and there, but ultimately, like, there's so many creep tumors going down. It doesn't seem to be doing too much. Actually, this is the first time we're really seeing some creep getting the knight here. There we go, that's a good one, but more creep tumors immediately, I mean, just ready in the pipeline there of the Queen's pipe sack right there, that's that I carry around with them. Immediately pooping out a couple more of those tumors. They're out of energy now as well, so you know what? It's nice to just put 6 creep tumors back on this area over here, but now only going to be able to put, well, I guess he still has energy for 3. Oh, never mind, it's still a very reasonable amount. 4th base here, full row going on. I know how hypnotizing it can be just watching these Hellions move back and forth. I mean, it kind of seems like this is all Innovation is doing as well at this moment, right? This is all we're watching, but behind this, of course, continuously, every time those Hellions are moving from one place to the other, he's doing things at home. He's got himself that 3rd base. He's got himself a nice amount of Marines right now, cleaning up that spotter overlords. As it did still see the push coming in here. Marines and siege tanks looking for a potential place to start pushing. Nice supply depot walling off here from Innovation as well. Starting to prep for any type of a run by. This is one of the things that we did continuously see Time struggling with, right? The run bys of the Lings just making life incredibly difficult for him. Alright. This is Innovation now truly abusing this map. This map famous for a couple of places for these siege tanks to sit here and provide us an enormous amount of covering fire. Here we go. Let's see if it's going to be enough though. Those Banelings, they are crashing right into those Hellions, and immediately pretty much everything here gets blown up. There's still a good amount of Marines left though. Maybe able to get a little bit more trade value here, as there's only 3 Banelings remaining, but I'm not sure if Innovation's willing to make that attempt without the reinforcements here just quite yet. More Banelings, of course, are going to be acquired now as well. But ultimately, let's see if it matters. Let's start pre-splitting here a little bit. Rogue playing a patient game here, allowing some of his creep to get destroyed here in favor of getting more Banelings, getting a more clean sweep here, of course, will allow him to just carry this momentum through to the next wave and the next wave. The cleaner this cleanup is going to be, the better it is going to be for him, because he is already on a 74 worker count, so as long as he doesn't lose any of them or another base, he should be in a pretty good spot here. Nice surround coming in from the backside. Having lost that creep though on the top side, seems to be bothering him quite a bit now. The Mutalisks do manage to take care of those siege tanks, but ultimately there's so many more Marines now spilling on through. This base is going to go down. There's no way it's not. And without any Banelings here, I think we have reached ourselves a GG moment. As Rogue tries to defend this, will not be able to do so. Innovation. Once again, just looking like an unstoppable force of nature here. To be fair, of course, the spawning pool opening there from Rogue not quite working out for him. Didn't find any type of, any real damage. Went for the quick third hatchery as well. But ultimately, he just fell behind. He just fell behind on the overall forces of innovation. The Banelings, I mean, the surround, it was rather crucial to try and make that happen, of course. But ultimately, innovation still was able to push his units downwards. Micro them downwards, not really push them downwards, but yeah, get them pushed downwards, I suppose, is the way you should say that. But anyway, yeah, microing further away wasn't really surrounded. Getting a multi-pronged attack from the Zerg really is only good because you get a quicker surround. If you kind of come in from two angles, and the two angles are very similar from direction, and even one of them is like a little tiny choke, right? It is still quite possible for the Terran to just move backwards. It's still better than pushing in from that little tiny choke all in its own, but ultimately still very doable there for the Terran to defend against that. Micro his way to victory in that sense, and that's exactly what we saw Innovation do. Ultimately, you know what, cleaning up that creep over and over again, really facilitating a lot of the momentum in that push, as well as most of the Banelings weren't even capable of getting close to the Marines there, as they were trying to get through that top side. Alright, anyway, game number 2 here. We have in the bottom right side the man with 1 point on the board right now in these finals. He's the Red Terran. He's Kaisi Gaming's Innovation. Top left side, the blue Zerg. Fighting for Jinnah Green Wings. He is Rogue. Going once again for that drone scout. Just doesn't want to get proxy Rexed right now. We'd love to see him grab a couple of victories here, of course. It's not too late. It's not too late. It's just only one game that didn't go his way, where he did make a little bit of a gamble going for that spawning pool first. And not just that, of course, he also went for the gas, alright? He also made the extractor rather quickly, and couldn't quite get that working out in his favor there. The quick speed not really facilitating a whole lot either in that situation, if you think about it, right? Think about it. Just gotta bloody think about it. Anyway, I think actually one of the other things I would like to mention, benefit of being, going around with that drone to scout, is that it allows to, well, it kind of frees up your overlords a little bit more so, right? I mean, Rogue does still move this overlord backwards, does still want to be able to see this SCV come in case there is a bunker being built somewhere around here, but ultimately, it's a lot more doable now for you to move this second overlord into a potentially across the map position where you might be able to get some valuable intel, right? Whether it be seeing a fusion core, whether it be seeing some sort of an armory, quickly trying to get hellbeds or something like that, right? Yeah, it does open up a little bit of an opportunity in that sense. Okay, Lynx needs to be careful here, of course. The Queen is about to pop, so there we go. There we go, the savior. Queen saved the Lynx. God won't save the Queen, but the Queen will save the Lynx in this case. Double command center coming out from Innovation right now. Ramping up his overall economy here rather rapidly, and this is not what we saw. The same thing happen here with Time and Rogue as well. No, actually, hold up. Let me think this through. No, I'm completely wrong. We saw Rogue going for the quick lay attack into the Mutalisk play. It's kind of interesting that we saw that so many times here from Rogue in the series versus Time, and now when he's versus Innovation, he's still opting to go for the quick 3 hatchery and wants to just maintain overall flow of the game in the regular sense, right? Doesn't want to go for a quick Mutalisk play here. Innovation. Oh, let me grab that Reaper. There we go. Okay, coming in to see whether or not there's a lay there on the way. And sees none. Starts up a Banshee right now. I'm not sure if that's the correct correlation or just maybe me seeing something happen and then forming a false correlation and response. There's some sort of a theory about that. I don't know. Anyway. Correlation, causation. I think that's it, right? Correlation, causation, fallacy. That's the one. I think I'm a little bit susceptible to that sometimes. Anyway, Rogue here, very clean holds against those Hellions so far. I guess there's only 2 of them and a Reaper. Losing a single creep tumor. It's very important, of course, not to lose too many, as we saw the previous time. Really doing a number on him in that sense. Maybe he could have just left that 4th base alone, but ultimately, you know what? There's not a lot of other places you can get yourself a 4th base. Like, for example, on Death Aura, right? Already a bigger map. You can have a 4th base here. You can have a 4th base here. If this base is looking like it's going to be crushed and crumbled, very easy to just be like, alright, let me just build it on the other side of the map here. And that should be relatively safe. I can, you know what, kind of let this die a little bit slowly. But ultimately buy myself a lot of time, let it die eventually, and then really start putting on the offense with the other 4th base I took. So already a lot of a better Zerg map here, of course, and the rich Vespian Geysers as well, benefiting any type of Mutalisk play or Zerg play in that mid game quite a bit if you do decide to take one of those bases. It's a little bit in the open, very close to your opponent, so it's always a little bit scary to do so, but hey, maybe we will get to see something like that. Innovation here. Innovation. Grabbing himself that Raven once again. Really, really adamant about cleaning up the creep tumors. And it is very important, don't get me wrong, but it feels like a weird one in a way. Like nobody's ever doing this, you know what I mean? I know, what happened to that Banshee anyway? The Banshee... It's here. Okay, didn't do anything. 0 kills on that bad boy. Took a bunch of damage there. Couple of needles from the Queens in the face. Okay, this is looking like the Lynx are trying to set up a surround here. They did get spotted by the Hellions in time, so are not going to be able to really do too much. They really want to set up some sort of a flank, right? As long as they get on this side of the Hellions, they should be able to do okay. Especially if the Hellions commit to somewhere here. Having the Lynx there, that should be the way to do so. But ultimately, I mean... Innovation, once again, just... really banging down those creep tumors, just slapping them across the face with the flamethrowers. Look at this. This is just getting a little bit out of hand right now. There's hardly any creep spread whatsoever, and on this left side there's hardly any either, and that's where we see these Marines and the siege tanks get together, accumulate their force. But you know what? There's enough Zerglings and Marines, Banelings here to really stop that from doing anything, especially with the Hellions not quite ready to intercept those Zerglings just yet. So Rogue with a very, very nice cleanup there. Is going to be able to drone a little bit more so here, perhaps, if he does so want to. But playing it safe, just mainly focusing on getting his upgrades, getting the Spire out here. And, wow. The 2 HP Banshee strikes again, gets 2 kills. But, yeah, he's just focusing on getting the upgrades and waiting for those Mutalisks to be able to get it produced right now. 16 of them are on the way, but there will be a timing here for Innovation. It's going to strike before that is going to hit him. As Mutalisk, of course. Man, this Raven has gotten so much value right now. Imagine all the scanning that Innovation had to do if he hadn't got himself this Raven. I know it's, you know, minerals instead of gas, so you're spending gas instead of minerals right now, but I guess as the Terran you don't need as much gas anyway, right? So, and this is a terrifying front here from Innovation. Those Marines stacked in between those 2 siege tanks, making it very difficult for the Banelings to really get good connections going. There's no more creep spread here either, and as the creep is just slowly dissolving, disappearing, is when Innovation goes forward. But has he gone a little bit too far? Doesn't quite have enough here, at least for now. Guys, until the rest of the forces, of course, come in. This seems to be a lot of the TVZs right now. It's just like, alright, well, the Zerg finally cleans... Oh, wait, there's Terran reinforcements coming in. At least that's always when you see Innovation and Cure play most of the time. I guess Clem too now. Hero Marine as well sometimes. Thermal. I always feel responsible for trying to name all great Terran players right now, but you know what? Why do I even bother? Let me just say Thermal every time, because he's the Dutchman. People will understand that I'm biased to him. Vindicta as well, of course. Honorary Dutchman. Also, I think he's honorary Australian as well. He's just honorary everyman. Everyman. Honorary everyman. Okay. Okay, Rogue actually did manage to kind of force Innovation backwards here. Stabilized, and now let's take a look at the overall standing of this game, right? We have +2/+2 already available for Innovation. He's getting himself Thors, and he's getting himself Widow Mines, I want to say. Yeah, right, there they are. More Widow Mines on the production tab. He's got 4 bases right now, mining relatively nicely. A lot of missile turrets right here. He's not messing around. 4 missile turrets right there. So he's kind of foregoing any missile turrets in his natural base. So very important to stop Mutalisk right here. Alright, so that's kind of what Innovation is doing. It's almost maxed out, so he's feeling like a little bit like he wants to attack again. He's not attacking with everything though, he's just attacking with a small clump. And this allows him to still have a good amount of Marines here, a good amount of anti-air siege. Well, there's a couple of siege tanks here, I believe there's 1 or 2. No, it's just 1 actually. Alright, anyway. Don't even get to really describe what Rogue is up to. I guess, well, let's try to make it brief. A lot of stuff he's doing, a lot of bases are being taken. He's going up to HiveTech. +2/+2, just not quite acquired yet, but we'll have it relatively soon. It would be great if he manages to wait for this next upcoming engagement that Innovation is kind of forcing him into right here, up until the moment that he actually has the +2/+2. We'll have to wait and see though. Right, there is that HiveTech now as well in production. Should be able to pack himself some nice overall stuff there for the late game. Not the most efficient trade there for Rogue, I would say. Those Banelings not getting the best trades. Oh, don't go onto that. Oh, God, that's a lot of stuff. And the Widowmine getting a good connection there. And they got better connections on those Marines than I thought they would, actually. Considering that with the Thors in the front and the Widowmines as well, just looking to shoot down Banelings. Rogue holding that off very, very nicely. Looking very sharp. Making it look very comfortable for him. Seeing more Marauders now for Innovation, of course, being mixed in as well into this composition. As he's pushing further forwards. Once again, in this one little corridor where creep has just been continuously being destroyed and devastated. Oh, well, that is a good multi-pronged attack. Look at that. Banelings coming in from behind. The Marines were trying to micro backwards, but that is gonna be that there for Innovation's attack. He's gonna have to move backwards here again, and I'm not quite sure if these full frontal attacks of Innovation are gonna be packing much more of a punch anymore. After being pushed backwards this amount of times right now, feels like he's gonna have to scratch his head and rethink his efforts here. Try some different approach. Try something else to crack the overall economy right now for Rogue, as it is growing absolutely mentally out of proportions of normalcy here in this TVZ. 2 medevacts, that's right. We have to get ourselves a bit more multi-pronged harassment, I would say. Maybe those Mutalisk will not be able to intercept those medevacts. It's a little bit of a gamble, of course, but oh my dear lord, immediately spotted. Immediately seen going out of the base there by those overlords that are just standing barely outside of Innovation's base. This is buying a little bit of an opportunity though for Innovation to push along this side of the map. Massive connections on those Widow Mines. This may be enough here. I mean, he does have +3/+3 on those Marines, but oh, there's more medevacts than there's Marines right now though. Look at that. That's crazy. Oh my dear lord. How many medevacts are we on? 14 of them, and he's still making more. He's going up to 16 medevacts. I feel like that may be a little bit too much right now, but Well, if it goes up to any more, that's definitely going to be too much. Widowmines need to be burrowed here. The Marauders taking a couple of those bailing hits on their shin, but looking to be a what? Nah, this is a very brave base. This is a very brave base. That should not go up innovation, and yep, that does get killed off, as it should be, honestly. I don't know why he was trying to do that one, but, well, that's the bravest base I've ever seen anybody take. Alright, Thor here trying to just be microed backwards. Innovation still in this one. I mean, his worker count may only be on 69, but his army count still definitely ready to dish out quite a devastating blow. The Baneling count not all that high right now, but with Liberators and more Marauders on the production tab right now, I'm feeling pretty comfortable that Innovation is ready for this Ultralisk switch here. And it's kind of funny seeing this amount of medevacs and then them still leaving units behind, isn't it? Still being like, well, nope, we can't take everybody, guys. Sorry, we're filled up. We're filled. We gotta go right now. Alright, he's still gonna apply this pressure here. This is a very good move, as we saw Rogue almost going for the offensive there on the bottom left side. That would have been a little bit of a devastating blow to Innovation's economy, I would say. Desperately trying to take these bases here on the top right side, but ultimately, you know what? I think he's just gonna have to. He's just gonna have to forfeit this place here and just decide to expand to the left side instead. If he wants this to still work out for him, I feel like, right? Right? This is a weird one. This is definitely a weird one. Is Innovation breaking here under the pressure? Not taking a couple of great trades there. Just have a good pathway of just Liberator and a ton of Widowmines right now. The highway of the Widowmine. If there ever has been a highway to hell, this is going to be it. This is just a highway in the depths of hell, pretty much. You know what? Innovation's still standing strong here, still trying his best, and he's doing pretty darn good. I have to commend him for this one. Felt like a couple of times he was just being out-muscled from this location, but he's still hanging in there. Massive Widowmine connections, and I think he should be able to micro his way, as long as he keeps microing. Oh, okay, yeah, takes down all of the Ultralisk now, and suddenly Innovation looking like the champion here on this right side of the map. Honestly, I thought he had to give it up for a couple of times there, but managed to hold on here. Gonna be pushing forward, takes out the base. How far can he still bring this, though? This train of Terran mine and Liberator aggression right here. This is such a rough spot to push into, though, as the Zerg. Rogue has to wait. He has to be a little bit patient here for Mr. Innovation to push out of it. He doesn't want to. Okay, I guess that does give him good connections on the Banelings, on the Widowmines, but ultimately, look at that. The amount of Marauders that still remain. GG is called. Innovation takes another freaking game. Jeez Louise. Innovation on an absolute tear right now. I was certain he was going to go down there a couple of times around. Very surprised, honestly, that fight there on the right side still went into his favor. I thought that was just going to be a losing battle, ultimately, right? It felt like Rogue was gaining the upper hand. He was taking even the further base. Like, I'm pretty sure he felt like he was taking that one, but ultimately, Innovation bringing it back. Nice microing backwards, being ready for that transition into the Ultralisk. That was very, very important. Anticipating that to be the case, and shutting it down like an absolute boss. And now, you know what? Innovation winning on his map choice, winning on Rogue's map choice. Game number 3. Again, Innovation's map choice. Here we go. Innovation. Man, oh man. He's looking tough. He's looking tough to beat. And Rogue, I mean, I know usually he doesn't lose in finals, but it looks like overall his strength really may rely upon just being able to prep for a finals rather than just, you know, gaining superpowers or something like that while every time he is in a finals, which would be a cool thing, honestly, for a player, right? It's kind of like Sue. Every time he got in a final, he lost for a long time, right? Up until a certain moment where he finally managed to break the curse. But Yeah, Rogue, is he this man that just doesn't lose finals? Is that his reputation right here? It would really solidify, in my mind at least, if he does manage to make some sort of a comeback happen right now. But it seems to be extremely tough. It seems to be very rough against his opponent right here in the bottom left side. The red Terran from Kaisi Gaming is already on 2 points right now. Can he do it 2 more times? It's Kaisi Gaming's innovation. Innovation. Top right side, there he is, the blue Zerg fighting for the Jinners and the green wings. He is Rogue. Now, am I the only one that thinks of the Jinner green wings and then green wings in particular, and then I just imagine some sort of a KFC menu where they have green wings in a sense? No, it's preposterous. I don't think anybody else really ever had that brain thought, but I mean, here I am. Just a bucket of green chicken wings. Would that sell well? I mean, it's been proven a couple of times, right, that children are very into like the food things that just have a weird color. They just like to have their food have a weird color. I don't know. Anyway, standard stuff here once more. No spawning pool first from Rogue. Honestly, seeing these quick Mutalisk plays from him against time over and over again working out so fantastically, I really would love to see this happening again against Innovation, because that would kind of give us a good comparison, right, between time and Innovation in this matchup. Especially because it's being played on the same day, it's being played on a lot of the same maps, and it's being played against the same player, but ultimately, just Rogue not quite allowing us that window of insight right here. Still sticking to the triple base, more so relying on the Zergling and the Banelings. And then later on going for the mass of Mutalisk in the flock. Going for like 16 Mutalisk. And, you know, that is working out sometimes a little bit up until the moment in time where Innovation just turns it up to 11 and suddenly just busts through absolutely everything. A couple of bad trades are being taken. And to be fair, I mean, it's not like Rogue wasn't in a position where he could have done a little bit more, right? He was in a position where he could have potentially just kind of tried a little bit more aggression. A couple of Baneling run-bys perhaps on the bases on the bottom left. Get really into cutting down Innovation's overall income. Maybe that way he would have been able to solidify a victory there, but in the end it felt like he needed absolutely everything to just combat Innovation in that full-on push style that continuously was coming across the map here. Just a couple of brief seconds where Rogue felt like he had an opportunity to make something happen, but ultimately it just, yeah, every time fell a little bit short. Fell a little bit short. Alright, Innovation. What's he up to this time around? Going for a starport right in next to a reactor. Okay, looks pretty standard stuff. The double medevac with the stimmed marines, I would believe this is going to be turning into. Not that many Hellions on the menu this time around. Just barely enough to shoot down a couple of those creep tumors. Another thing I'm interested in is whether or not we're gonna be seeing a Raven again here as a follow-up after the stimmed marine medevac timing. Oh no, another reactor here. Can the champion of the finals really be beaten here? I mean, if anyone can do it, you would anticipate something like Innovation to do it, right? This is an interesting supply depot. Well, a little bit forwards, right? So you can get a little bit of an easier block over here as well, in case you need it. Nice stuff. Nice stuff overall. Alright, that is the double medevac with the Marines coming across the map. It is something I think people do a little bit more against the quick spire attack. Overall, gives you a little bit of safety, right? Having this amount of stim Marines just ready to gun down any type of a Mutalisk. As, of course, the Mutalisk play here really slows down any type of a Baneling kind of technology for the Zerg. Only now that we have that Baneling nest on the way. Let alone Baneling speed, right? Imagine how far away Baneling speed is right now. These types of pushes are very difficult to deal with. Innovation has those, has the 5 Hellions here as well. Turns them into Hellbats. Hello! When did we get ourselves an armory here? I'm not completely sure, but that's a lot of queens right now. I'm not quite sure if Rogue was anticipating some form of a Hellbat push, or maybe just even some sort of a battlecruiser push. But you know what? Those queens seem to be doing pretty darn fine against this nonetheless. We'll be able to hold this off rather handedly. And yeah, Innovation is gonna have to be pushing backwards. I think this push overall, I don't think this was the best choice overall. I think the other games we saw, Innovation going more so for the macro play, a little bit. I favored that one a little bit more so. This push right now just getting blocked by mainly Queens and Zerglings, not even Banelings on the fields, while Rogue as well is still transitioning into those Mutalisks. So I really was anticipating this attack to do quite a bit because of that transition taking place and no Banelings being anywhere near ready. But ultimately, I mean, it didn't do anything. It's going to go in for wave number 2 here. A lot of those Hellbats are still available. The Banelings don't have Baneling speed yet. Of course, that's the main thing to take into account. A lot of time here to spread out with those Hellbats. They're not quite doing so. Oh, targeting the Banelings with the Marines. And yeah, this attack again going to be thwarted rather handedly, I would say. And nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Innovation is going to lose these boys. Does take out a lot of the Mutalisk though. Nice targeting there overall. Let's take a look. Yeah, it took down 6 Mutalisk in that. So any type of Mutalisk harassment severely cut down now in potential. And we'll try to set up that 3rd base right now as well. Rogue doesn't have a 4th base just yet. I think that's worth mentioning as well, right? Is gonna be trying to set it up right now. And, yeah, Loppy calling it out correctly. This is, in fact, Bio into Mech right here. Going for the stimmed Marines and then straight into some Hellion Thor composition, it looks like. Very, very interesting. Also mixing in a lot of the Vikings. And, yeah, this just makes me kind of wondering how this is going to unfold. It feels like you're kind of opening yourself up for any type of attack right now. Oh, those Zerglings and Banelings right on top of the Hellions. I think that's just going to be GG, right? I mean... Oh, dear lord. Okay, no, he doesn't get that many SCV kills. Oh, he might still, though. Cleaning up more of those medevacs. We need to see more Zerglings just rushing in right now, and that's exactly what we're getting. With the Zerglings here, I feel like this should be a drawn-out conclusion. Alright, there he is. Any type of micro with that Thor becomes a lot more difficult right now. And the Zerglings don't really get on top of it, so that's a big one. Trying to target down the missile turret right now. Interesting stuff. I think the Thor there, the real missile turret. But, you know what? Innovation holds on. 52 workers still remain. 40 army supply here. Yeah, that Thor really carrying his weight right there. Being able to punch his way not only through the Mutalisk, but also tank his way against the Zerglings. Being placed in the right position there, and that kind of shows you the importance of micro in a way. Putting those, well, maybe positioning, not necessarily micro, just kind of dropping your Thor in the right place. Being able to stop anything from happening in that moment of time. Behind this, though, of course, Rogue still spreading out his overall Zerg empire right here. Spreading the creep, making more bases. But there is a big attack coming in as well here for Innovation once again. Moving across the map, and You know what, Rogue actually, we just saw a wave of 15 drones on that production tab. That may have been a little bit too much. He saw 90 workers right now against 55. Did he over-drone with this army of mech coming in right now? Okay, great connections onto those Hellbats. That's a good start, but I mean, he already doesn't have that much. He still needs to deal with the Thors. He still needs to deal with all these other Hellbats. Oh, my dear lord, that is not looking all that good for Rogue right here, who suddenly was caught with his pants down, trying to assemble more Zerglings. Really was not anticipating any type of a mech push out anytime soon, and now severely being punished for it, for his ignorance, not anticipating Innovation to just move forwards. Hold the phone, guys. Is this still turning around? Yes, it is. Alright, well, only a good amount of workers were killed off. Rogue just barely manages to hold on with the help of those Mutalisks and the Queens. And actually, alright, I think that may be the final blow then. I think that may be it, guys. I thought for a moment we were going to see that that army just absolutely melt everything with that amount of overall Hellbats still remaining, but the Banelings did manage to get out in time. The Mutalisk, great micro on those, staying out of range of those stores, picking off the Hellions and the Hellbats. And, yeah, great control there from Rogue overall, really showcasing. You know what, actually, I forgot. Oh, wait, no, I see what I did. I see what I did wrong here. There we go. I pressed Control X at some point accidentally. Innovation is 2 to 0 right now. Alright. Alright. Man, just by a smidge, Rogue manages to hold on. And now he's on an 82 drone economy, which, you know what, is going to be absolutely booming, taking 2 bases at the same time. No problem for somebody with this amount of money coming in at the same time, especially in comparison when your opponent is only on 58 workers, of course. That's quite a advantage here for the Blue Zerg, as we can see. A big blue coral reef is being produced right there in the income advantage. Not a lot of red coral reef coming in right there. And yeah, with that in mind, we're gonna have to just kind of wait and see if Innovation... I mean, it feels like all he can do is just kind of sit back right now, right? Maybe get some aggression with Hellions here and there, move across the map, try to wiggle his way into mineral lines. But ultimately, if he makes one misstep right now, that should be the game. Rogue can afford to make 1 or 2 missteps, right? Banelings like this. It's okay. He'll make some new ones. As he is just absolutely skyrocketing right now in the income advantage with these 2 bases now fully saturated as well. Rogue, his creep spread is the one thing that makes me a little bit worried here. Still a lot of places for Innovation to push right on top of those bases from, without fearing about the creep spread of allowing those Banelings and the Zerglings very quick access to the mech army here. Infestation pit on the way now as well. Alright, Banelings getting closer to those Hellions. And actually that final shot there still managing to get a little bit of a connection. A big run by here with the Banelings and the Mutalisk, shutting down one of the supply depots, ensuring access there for the Banelings to get through here. Right on top of those SCVs, and already a struggling economy of Innovation, getting even worse right now. He's already on 3 bases, but I suppose that's the one good thing for him right now, that didn't need that many SCVs, right? Doesn't necessarily need them, as he doesn't have really the the places to mine from anyway. But this is still rather a poor situation here for Innovation, of course. Moving backwards with a lot of his stuff right now. This is maybe his last moment in time where he may be able to still make something work. I mean, mech armies, they are incredibly strong. He's ahead in supply right now. The Mutalisk fighting against this amount of Thors, against this amount of Vikings, that could be very difficult. Zerglings there, spilling in 1 by 1. Not that much remaining right now. There's only 2 Hellbats though. That is a little bit scary. Oh, taking a lot of AoE damage there, taking a lot of poke damage as well from those Vikings. The Mutalisk count is getting lower and lower. The Baneling's not that great anymore against those armored units. Did Innovation still find an opportunity here? There's only 4 Taurs remaining. Yeah, Rogue making the nice decision, just moving out of this location right now. There's no reason to commit everything for this base, and just needs to wait for a good amount of Zerglings to come in here. Oh, my dear lord. Innovation needs to get Hellions here ASAP as quickly as possible. But yeah, he taps out, getting attacked again in his base. And GG is called. He knew he would not be able to make that work anymore. Tapping out, and Rogue takes a first game into his advantage. Not quite tying up the series just yet. Needs one more game to get it up to a 2-2 series. But ultimately, you know what? Rogue versus Innovation here. Showing us a rather entertaining series so far. And yeah, I mean, Innovation, very interesting build overall. I wonder how that would have unfolded, right? If he hadn't been intercepted mid kind of transition there, as it felt like. But yeah, we'll have to just wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Sung Woong Kim, yeah. I mean, Innovation, he lost those SCVs, right, from his second base. He was getting counterattacked again on his third base. I didn't quite show it there on the camera. But, I mean, 4 Thors, yeah, 2 more on the way, 6 Thors. I mean, there's no way there's not going to be a big, just overall wave of Lynx running in and shutting down those Thors. Like, I mean, even if he did kill 2 more bases there, if he killed 2 more bases with those Thors, right, and the Lynx were just messing up, Rogue would still win that game rather decisively, because there was nothing left for Innovation. He had no economy, so he taps out there. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. Overall, you can't blame him for that one. Anyway, moving on through, and you know what? He's already at a 1-point advantage anyway. Even with that loss right now, should be able to do pretty well here, I would say, in the next one as well. Right, Golden Wall. So we had that was Innovation's map choice, game number 3. This is Rogue's map choice, Golden Wall. I'm not quite sure what he has planned right here. You know what, Nidus Worms, always a possibility, could be pretty good. I don't think they do as well against the Terran race as well as they do against the Zerg, or the Protoss race, I should say. But we might still be able to get something to work out in his favor. Let's wait and see what he has planned for this crazy map that everybody just seems to absolutely adore right now. It's the red Zerg in the bottom left side, the Jinna Green Wings Rogue. Bottom right side, we have ourselves that blue Terran player fighting for the KaiZ Gamers. He is Innovation. My dear lord. It's getting tight now. For a moment I was afraid that we were going to see Innovation just running away with the series. I mean, a 2-1 score is just like, it is a 180-degree difference compared to just being 3-0 in a best of 7. Oh my god, that is like a death sentence. 2-1, this is manageable. This is calming you down. If you're a Rogue right now, you're getting back into your mental space. You're getting a little bit more of a motivational boost. To be fair, he did win that one because Innovation was doing a little bit of a weird mix-up right there, going from the stimmed Marine play right into a mech play. Maybe if he wasn't getting counterattacked, that would have worked out, but ultimately, I'm not quite sure what Rogue thinks about that one either, right? It's a difficult one to say. How he kind of saw that going down. Anyway, he still got very close as well, right? I mean, at one point I thought Rogue was just going to go down, no problem with that attack coming in with like 80 something drones versus, what was it, 30 SCVs? I don't even know anymore. It was nuts. It was nuts. A lot of army supply for Innovation, still just barely getting killed off there by Rogue. And that is something you don't get to see every day. Alright. Alright. Innovation. What is the plan right here? Looks like the regular Hellions start up right now. Pathway to the bottom side has been cleared up by Rogue. Will make himself at home there. Make himself a little nice den of Zerg and infestation on the bottom side of this wall, as Innovation's trying to just play it standard, playing straight up. Let's see if we get a tac lab on that Stargate at the starports right there as well still. I mean, we've seen it 2 times right now from Innovation, right? With the Hellions and the Raven. A very, very cool opening, I would say. Something definitely worth trying to be incorporated by more Terrans here, I would say. I mean, especially against Zergs, it just feels very, very strong. You're saving yourself so much scan energy, and overall, you get a lot of value from those Hellions, right? A lot more value, I would say. Oh, does get the Queen, loses the Reaper for it though, but I think that's an okay trade. That should be an okay trade. A little bit of damage from those Hellions as well, though. May want to go back for repairs right now and then come back in later again. And Innovation went for the Viking this time around and for a Medevac. Interesting, interesting. Maybe wants to get the Hellions on the bottom side of the wall here after they do get themselves repaired. And then with that in mind, gonna try to, well, maybe hit up that main base right there from below. I mean, with those Hellions, you really do need just like 1 or 2 good shots. It's a little bit like Widow Mines, but then they don't need to burrow. They just need to get close, and then they gotta do their shooting, right? That's all they gotta do. And that's already very, very much worth it, usually, in damage-wise. Okay, here is the Medevac. 2 Hellions on the top. Yeah, okay, no, never mind. It's a little bit surprised with that one, to be fair. The Viking here, clearing the way, looking for any type of Overlord survivors to take down. To take out for a cup of tea. Cup of tea and rocketeering. Right, here is the drop into the main base. 3 workers first shot. This should go up very quickly here. Nice micro though from Rogue. Will be able to facilitate a lot of those drones, their lives. Okay, the Medevac does get targeted down though. Innovation getting 7 workers. Okay, 7 workers. A couple of those Zerglings as well, I would say, but that does seem to be it overall. The majority of that push. 7 workers. It's still a good amount, right? It's still a good amount for Hellions. I would say that is worth it overall. Considering that he did take down 2 Overlords as well with that Viking. You don't want to be spending your larvae to make those Overlords, let alone your minerals as well. After losing that amount of Zerglings. Dronelings, that's the word. That's the correct word. Don't question it. Don't everybody try to correct me. I know it's right. Dronelings. It's a weird word to say. Anyway, Innovation mining the bottom side of the map now as well, and will be going for the bioplay, so no mixing it up here with mech this time around, getting +1/+1. I mean, if he transitions into mech right at this moment in time after committing this much to bio, well, I'm gonna question if this is actually Innovation playing. And to be fair, if anybody would do it, probably going to be Innovation, to be fair. Ah well, regardless of all of that, the bottom side of the map now going to be the playground here, it would seem. Rogue, I would be happy if I were him now. I already mined quite a bit from that bottom side of the map here. Now it's going to be able to just get himself sorted on the top side here. 2 drones go down due to the Liberator, but Queens and Spore Crawlers already there to save the day. Alright. In comes the first push. The first real push from Innovation. A nice wall of that on the top side, of course. Gonna make it difficult for those links to really get anything going here, as this is, you know what, a run by is very difficult to do on a map where you, well, have the one side blocked off and then there's only this really one small corridor, right? It's not much else than this one small corridor here on this map. Anyway. A lot of Marines, but a lot more Zerglings there, it would seem. Baning speed, halfway done only. Could be a moment of opportunity here for innovation. More reinforcements coming across the map now as well. There is that run by though still. Finding the opportunity, of course there is. Not that many Marines here. But still this attack as well, going pretty strong. Oh boy. Yeah, the production facilities of Innovation now heavily on the siege. Innovation's going to have to micro his heart out with this attack, as it would appear that he's going to be losing quite a incredible amount here on the bottom side. Oh my god, as I mentioned, it's going to be difficult to get run-bys going on this map. There he is, just killing 30 some workers. Oh well, 26. Almost 30. Not quite everything here has been beaten though by Innovation, of course. He still has an opportunity to do a good amount of damage himself. Needs to make it happen though. This is his opportunity. Needs to just keep this pressure going. Doesn't want to give Rogue a moment's rest here. Can't allow him to re-macro up with the Banelings, with Zerglings and all that whole shebang. Oh my dear lord. Okay, nice micro there from Innovation. Does still have that one siege tank there on the low ground, but more Banelings coming in. Oh my dear lord, there's a lot of creep here too. Overlords, a little bit of miss micro there. Oh, there's still Zerglings there. Okay, they are burrowed. Slowly but surely still coming up and down out of the ground now and again, killing off more of those SCVs. 30 of them have gone down. The base force as well though. Innovation may only be on 27 workers, but his army count is absolutely magnificent still. We need to get good Baneling hits here if Rogue wishes to win this game right now and tie up the series overall. Give him a fighting chance here for the rest of this. Oh, well, he's going to be hard-pressed to win this one. We'll need to win 3 games in a row. Alright, here we go. The Banelings rolling on through. He did so much damage with the counterattack. Will he be able to clean this up here? The Queen's looking pretty fine right now. More Zerglings in the production tab. 22 about to be finished up. Innovation, though, pushing on for the further forwards. Alright, yep, still making some magic happen. Right on top of the Queens now. The Banelings aren't ready, and I think this may be it, guys. This is looking like that may be the capitulating point. Pushes backwards though. The Banelings have been completed right into the siege tanks. GG is called Innovation. Innovation, 3 victories right now on the board. Even when he is only on 27 SCVs, he doesn't care. He will just beat the everlasting bananas out of you. The everlasting brown bananas. Man, that was a nasty game right there. That got really down to the wire. Rogue, he almost held on. He got really close. Almost. Just one small cluster of Marines holding on there to let that reinforcements come back around. And Rogue not being able to hold on. If he had hold on, I swear to you, he would win that game. I'm like 90% sure. No, maybe 95. As long as he didn't lose more of his drones right there as well. That would have been a full drawn-out conclusion. Innovation, though, he realized this. He knew he had to make it work with that push. Did everything within his power to make it work. Crazy micro, continuously. Just barely being able to keep himself afloat. He stopped making any type of effort into trying to reclaim his economy. Just solely focusing on spending more money on those Marines, getting them across the map as quickly as possible, because that was his final chance, his last moment in that game where he may be able to get a victory, and he found it. He found it just with a hair amount of extra units there coming in from his base. Very, very well played there. And yeah, that means he's going to be on match point right now, 3-1. On the scoreboard, and Rogue. It's not looking so good for the final prodigy here, or the finalist, the prodigy of the finals. Looking rather magnificent. Looking like he will be able to go down to Innovation, his strength. I forgot whether or not I was talking about Rogue or Innovation. I don't know. You guys know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. Oh, alright. We have a little bit of a break here. It looks like a 3-minute break. I will be right back, guys, after a short, brief moment. Give myself a breather. See you in a little bit. Don't go anywhere. More Innovation Rogue in a minute or two.
Gentlemen, the regularly Rogue bring this and sponsor Fuel as the official drink of esports, and right now they're inviting you to take a trip down flavor memory lane with their new G Fuel bubblegum. It's their newest, mind-blowing concoction made with zero sugar and packed with antioxidants and vitamins. Be transported back in time with this classic taste of childhood while getting the energy and focus you've come to expect from G Fuel products. Check out their sponsor quests on our event page for more info on how to get your hands on G Fuel's nostalgic take on a time-tested favorite. Now back to the games.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready, but the game is, so here we go. Yep. There we go. Blabo! Alright, guys. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's the score. That's the score right there. I mean, if you haven't been impressed by this man, this Terran player right here in the top right side, just quite yet, well then, I mean, I don't know what it's gonna take. I don't know what it's gonna take. Taking down Zest 3-1. Now in a score of 3-1 versus Rogue right now, and I mean, absolutely mental. Absolutely mental. The red Terran player right here. Kaisi Gaming's Innovation. In the bottom left side, the blue Zerg, Jinna Green Wings. None other than Rogue. I think Chrome. I mean, I know there's only... wait. There's only 2 maps left, right? Yeah, there's only 2 maps left, but... so what did he pick over Ice and Chrome? Or what did he not pick over Ice and Chrome? Let me think. So we started with Inno. 2 would be Rogue, 3 was Inno. Then 4 was Rogue. And was Golden Wall. So this is again Innovation's map choice. This is game number 5. Oh right, yeah, I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry. There's still 3 maps, right? There's still 3 maps you can choose from. How do I forget? We've played Death Aura, Eternal... Oh, Golden Pillars, right? Golden Pillars, we haven't seen that one yet between these 2. And... we've seen Eternal Empire. What's the other map? What's the other map we haven't seen yet between these men? These 2 manly men of gaming. Huh. Oh well, some other map. It will come back to me. It will come back to me. Everdream. Did we not see Everdream? I think we haven't seen Everdream yet, have we? Between these 2. Could be wrong, though. I may be wrong. May have been this. No, wait. So the first map was... Alright, let's put this into... I mean, nothing's happening anyway, right? We started off with... Submarine, Innovation's map choice. Then we went into Death Aura, which was Rogue's map choice. Then we went into... Eternal Empire. which was Innovation, and then, yeah. So Golden Wall, Map 4, Rogue, and then, yep, okay, yep, we're back. So it's Eternal Empire, Ice and Chrome, and, oh dear, oh, Pillars of Gold. I was like, oh no, I forgot the other one now. It's back. Alright, Reaper, nicely scouting everything here. Again, not the too base Mutalisk play from Rogue, though. You have to wonder what his overall idea is here. As to why he's not doing this against Innovation. And was so adamant about doing it continuously against Time. Maybe he just thinks Innovation a better opponent. I need to take more care of him. Need to play it safer against him and make the right plays there. Everything on the line here for Rogue. Desperately trying to get all the intel he needs from the Overlord scouting here. Sees the Raven opening once again. 3 base as well. I'm loving this Raven play from Innovation here. With the Hellions, that's just absolutely fantastic. Coming in again here. Ready to shoot down some creep. Shoot down that creep. Overlord's in a pretty good position though to scout for this, but of course with these 3 pathways so far apart, this is going to be tricky here for Rogue to really hold off those Hellions. One of the weird things about map layout, right? How easy it is for Hellions to move back in between these 3 alleyways in order to snipe creep to miss. Like, probably not something you take into account continuously while making a map, but it is very different from a map like such as Submarine in a way, right? Where there's like one place that goes into 2 directions, and then you gotta go back and forth like this. And then the third one just being a lot further away. Definitely interesting. And also having that turning point of this alleyway just being a lot further away, right? So it would be around, I would say over here, perhaps? Somewhere distance-wise, comparatively to the natural base. That may just be me getting confused because the map's so big on this one, though. I'm losing perspective because the map is that big. Alright. So guys, we have Rogue. He did go up to 71 workers. Oh, can he get the surround on these Hellions though? Oh, it doesn't seem like he will. Great micro there from Innovation, saving the day, especially with those auto turrets as well, providing a lot of covering fire there. And now with all of those Zerglings going down and this push coming in here, this is not looking too good here for the blue Zerg. Yeah, I am very, very worried here, guys. We have some good transfusions going on, but ultimately that base is looking like it's going to take a tumble down a very, very tall cliff. And it's going to be pushed by Hellions and Marines right now. Zerglings trying to get committed to this attack, but without Banelings here, this is a very, very rough one. The Queen's still doing an okay job though, but ultimately they are going to go down due to the firepower of the Marines and a siege tank there in the back. Finally, Banelings going to get constructed here. Drones trying to be pulled away, trying to delay this attack, buy time for those Banelings to get made into something substantial, but instead of just regular cocoons, that's going to be it, guys. GG, Innovation takes it. Another game just like that is 2 base timing attacks. Absolutely mental still. Gonna be able to take the entirety, be our final victor of the finals here. And Rogue, I mean, seeing his performance against Time there, I thought he was gonna give a little bit more in those finals, but ultimately, unfortunately, he goes down with only 1 point on the board there in a best of 7. And Innovation taking it all, taking the whole shebang right now with a dominating victory. He had one hell of a run Guys, remember, if you want to get all the replays of this, of the overall tournament today, try and delve into why perhaps Rogue didn't go for the 2-base Mutalisk play. Try to analyze his stuff a little bit more. If you want to see how Innovation is this dominant against whether it be Zest or Rogue or anybody else in the StarCraft 2 spectrum, a great pickup for you. Or yeah, if you want to try casting yourself, maybe do some replay casting there. Always fun to do that as well. Anyway, guys, if you want to grab those replay packs, go hit up the Metrorino page. Costs like $10. You're supporting the overall scene. You're supporting AlphaX. You're supporting these players. The whole shebang. It would be greatly appreciated to do a couple of quests there as well while you're at it. And yeah, that's going to help us out as well enormously. Anybody, anyway, anybody that's watching right now, thank you so much for all of the support. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you for just kind of joining us for some great StarCraft 2. I hope you had a good time. I definitely did. This was some amazing stuff overall. Innovation and Rogue. I mean, how can that go wrong? And then Time, man, he gave such a great showing. Would have loved it if he got a little bit further along, but hey, what we got was pretty darn amazing as well. It's just that I'm a little bit of a Time fanboy. That is all. Anyway, guys, love you all, love your faces, and yeah, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.